Okay, 55-18 metre now to start for our Malaysian competitors. So a lot of local Malaysian support here, I'm sure, for Nadia Nasir of Malaysia, local girl. This is probably her home site, although I don't know that for sure. And oh no, what is happening out there? The nerves, I guess, of the big stage, the world champs, but she has took a bit of load out of one ball, came into two with maybe more speed than she wanted, and she's popped the handle out of two. So 1.5 on her opening pass, 55-18 metre for a local competitor, Nadia Nasir. Wow, that's a bit of an upset. This is a bit of a crazy leaderboard at the moment, folks, because Maria Kuglevan has run 2 on the 11.25 metre line, and she is the leader, of course, by a country mile, because the other competitors who've had today, unfortunately, have missed their first pass. So obviously a few nerves out there. As we await our next competitor, of course, we're over halfway now through this women's Series 4 Slalom. So I'm joined for the first time this morning with Philippa Young. Is that what we're calling you, or you're going to explain what's happening out here? We've had a magnificent score, of course, from Maria Kuglevan from Peru, 2 at 11, but unfortunately none of the other girls have run their open pass.
Well, I don't know. I can only comment for Malaysia, Nadia Nasir. So she normally starts at 52 kph. So starting at 55 is a little bit of a challenge for her. How much did she get?
1.5.
1.5. Okay, so she'll be disappointed with that, and hopefully she can do better next time.
Thanks, Philippa. Normally Philippa, of course, would be competing here, but what's happened? Have you retired, or you're just too busy running the Worlds, or what's going on?
A little bit of both. I hurt my back, so I'm taking some time out. And of course, it's our home site, so I'm helping to organize a lot of the events here. Running up and down, helping the training site. So looking forward to a great Worlds here. Everybody, I think, will have a good time.
I'm having a good time so far. It's been great. Wonderful hosts, the Malaysians. Lovely people. Oh, okay. So I've had the word that the webcast is up and running. So welcome to all our viewers around the world. And you've joined us almost 2/3 of the way through Series 4 Slalom. There's been a few upsets here. We've had a magnificent score from our Peruvian athlete, Maria Kuglevan, who scored 2 at 11, which is, you never know, it could be close to making the final. But unfortunately, none of our other competitors have completed their opening pass. But as Philippa just said, a lot of girls starting possibly a little faster than they used to. So we go to Thailand now, and it's Wira Rosenthal, 55-18 metre line. Possibly, as Philippa said, normally starts at 52k, so she'll be working hard out there. She's getting it done, though. Heads across the 5 ball, and she should get to 6, and she does. And there we go. Philippa, happy with that?
Oh, so happy. Is this one of the only first passes to be completed? Second pass, yeah. Well done to Thailand. I think she normally skis into 14, this girl. And, of course, Thailand is her home base. And next month we're having the Asian Championships. So we should see more of her there when we go next month. Yeah. Let's see what she does today.
Yeah, that's a good result. So she'll shorten now onto the 16 metre line. Conditions are good here this morning. And just that slight little breeze out there, just coming from the easterly direction.
Nice breeze over there.
So welcome if you've just joined us on the webcast. Not a huge day of skiing today, folks. We've got about 5 more slalomers to go, and then of course we'll have a quick break and rock into 20 trick rides, and then another break, and we've got just 4 jumpers to finish off. So that's probably the quietest day of the Worlds, but it's opening day. We're ironing out a few difficulties. The webcast was just probably 20 minutes late starting, so apologies if you're out there and we're trying to hook up, but we just getting things sorted, of course. Our webcast team, hard-working team, have come, most of them all the way from Orlando to put this together. So here's the 16-metre line now. Our Thai competitor. Heads around 2. She's getting it done. Not quite as early as she'd like to be, but she is getting it done. In fact, good 4 ball. She's around 5, and she's actually ended up running this pass pretty comfortably in the end. Oh, put your hands together, 16-metre line.
Nice. That was quite a good pass. I must say, she looked pretty relaxed the whole way down. Yeah, running a little bit behind, but overall, still really relaxed. I don't know. She might get into 13, man. Looks pretty good.
Yes, it's good to see some passes being run out there at the moment. Okay, so Philippa just let me know the set down times there. Those watching around the world will be interested. We've got 50 seconds at the start dock end, and 60 seconds up there at what I'm going to call the southern end, northern end? The Godzilla end. I can tell where the east is because that's where the sun came up, but I think it's the northern end is the far end. So we've got a start dock end with a 50-second wait, and the northern end with a 60-second wait. And here we go. This is the 14.25 metre line. Gee, she'll be wrapped if she can run this and get a bit of action on the 13 metre. Through the entrance gate she goes, and around 1. A little bit slow out of 1, but she's looking okay. Around 2. Round 3, getting just a little bit late here. She's going to need a big 4 ball, and she falls around 4. 3.5 at 14. She needed a big turn though, and she had a crack at it, and fair play to her, but unfortunately falling in the lake there around 4 ball.
Yeah, I think she'll be disappointed with that. She's looking pretty good. She just seemed to be like overcranked it around 4 ball, and the tail just came out. So well done anyway to Team Thailand. Good try. Who's after this? Next up is Czech Katerina Svikova. Do you have any background on her?
No, I don't. I know that the Czech competitors are very solid skiers, of course, and the Czech Republic team includes Martin Coleman and Adam Sedemeier, of course, 2 of the greatest overall skiers at this event, or that the world's ever seen, really. So there'll be a strong team, but they were still getting, haven't actually got the bios hooked up yet into the system. So it's very much early on in these worlds for us. But I'm sure a lot of her family back in Eastern Europe will be watching, of course. Katerina Svikova from the Czech Republic. Then we go to Tony Atkinson, of course, the Kiwi, and then Eleanor Benjamin from Great Britain. And we finish off with Josefa Gonzalez from that magnificent Waterski family out of Chile, of course, the Gonzalez family. I'm sure we'll see her older sister, Valentina, ski a little bit later on in the week. Okay, so we believe the webcast is up and working fine. I've just had a text from my son. He says it's working fine in San Diego, so we know that. So that's great to see, and I'm sure plenty of people around the world will be tuning in. The Czech Republic, no idea what time it is right now in Eastern Europe. It's probably... can we figure that out? Very hard, isn't it? Yeah, probably the middle of the night. It's probably 4 or 5 in the morning in the Czech Republic, but I'm sure Mum and Dad will be up. If they're not here, they might be here on site, but if not, they'll be up watching this young lady slalom. Okay, I missed the start line lengths, but looking down from here, looked like 16 metre to me. Is she struggling a little bit here? She's bouncing and bobbling and working her way down the course, but she's getting it done, and good on her. Oh, geez, big crank out of 4. She's in big trouble, but I think she can still do this, folks, as she heads across to 6. And wow. Oh, no. Jeez. Well, if you're sitting at home on the webcast, you'll know why we made some noises in commentary, because I think she accidentally didn't get the exit gates, and in the end she fell off anyway. So she'd done all the hard work and unfortunately has fallen out of course. I think it'll be a score of 5.5, but just not really, the nerves not really settling out there for a young Czech Republic skier.
Yeah, that's a real darn shame. She fought so hard and she came around 6, and honestly, she could have got it. She just relaxed a little bit too soon, I reckon, hit the left-hand buoy and then fell off at the end. Tough luck. She's not on the WWS profile on the website, so all those athletes who aren't registered on WWS, it would really help us if you do register and post your photos so we can share that worldwide with all the audiences, and yeah, it would really help us in the commentary.
Yeah, well, that's correct, Philippa, because we're going to be running our bios off WWS website, and so if you haven't filled out your bio, we're not going to know much about you. But next up, we've got a skier that I do know a lot about, young Tony Atkinson out of New Zealand. Now, she skis quite a bit at my place in the northern part of New Zealand, and she's a tough competitor, one of those real hard trainers. She works hard. She does a lot of gym work, a lot of running. Philippa's a lovely young lady. New Zealand Open Women's Slalom champion currently.
Wow.
So she's not actually a number 1 women's slalom, because that'll be Jamie Metcalf, who we'll see on Thursday. But Jamie, of course, didn't make it to a New Zealand national, so Tony is our national champion.
What's her PB?
The PB's I'm going to go with 3 at 12. It's a chance it might only be 2.5, but I do remember her getting 3 once. But I think we had a bit of a judge's call once. I'm bringing back old things from 5 or 6 years ago. But we had Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles on Tower 1 once at a New Zealand tournament, and they only gave it 2.5 instead of 3 at 12. But we'll let that one go, Philippa.
She's not on either. I can't find her either on the WWS profile. Maybe I'm not looking at this right. That's so exciting to see your country lady skiing. We'll all be rooting for her.
Yeah, especially, of course, Tony skis for my home region back in New Zealand, and obviously skis a lot at my lake up in the northern part of New Zealand. Older brother Cole Atkinson, he's possibly watching right now in Canada, in Toronto. But Cole, of course, has skied at a World Championships before, but I don't believe Tony has. I think under 21 Worlds, University Worlds, but not an Open Worlds before.
27 years old?
Yeah, she's 27 years old. We've found her, have we?
Yep, we have.
There's probably a little bit of the stuff I know myself, Philippa, but it's good that you've brought it up. So here she goes, 16 metre to start, 55k behind that magnificent Nautique towboat. Round 1 she goes. Good, solid start on 1. Round 2, she's looking the goods. Round 3, heads around 4. This has looked great. Look, conditions are sometimes a little bit different here, and but I tell you what, they're not all that much different to New Zealand in a lot of ways, other than the fact that it's a lot warmer here. But we get a lot of skiing in New Zealand tournaments where it might be a little rolly, or it might have a bit of a crosswind, that sort of thing. Big, so yeah, big lakes, big open lakes. So I think Tony here, she will be relatively comfortable out here compared to maybe some of the other skiers that are more used to the absolute perfect sites. But let's see, that was a good 16 metre pass. We'll see how she goes at 14.
Yeah, I don't know. From here, she looked a little bit narrow, especially on a site like this. You want to be a little bit wider and just be really patient in your turns, because it can just be a little bit rolly out there. But overall, she looked really good, really comfortable, really relaxed. What do you think? Get into 13?
No, I think she'll get into 12, actually. I'm picking a score of at least 2 at 12, but we'll have to wait and see. There's a lot to go on, but 13 will be her crunch pass. I think that will be the difference. Running 13 for Tony will be the difference between being happy with these worlds and not being happy, I guess. And then once she gets to 12, hopefully, she can relax. But first up, this will be the 14 metre line from the northern end for Tony Atkinson from New Zealand. It's about, 10 minutes past 1 o'clock in the afternoon back home in New Zealand, and I'd say the entire New Zealand water ski community will be watching Tony here on the 14.25 metre line. Heads across round 2. Round 3 she goes. Pretty comfortable here at the moment. Heads around 4. Round 5. This is a great pass. Look, I think Tony would normally run that pass a little earlier than that, but she's been kind of conservative, which is smart. At a world, she's making sure she doesn't fall off, because the worst thing you want to do is be super early at 4-ball or 5-ball and fall in, you know, with the conditions and the pressure and all that sort of thing. So this is great, and Tony will now be on to the 13-metre line.
Yeah, she's looking really good. How often do you say she trains at your site?
Well, it's winter at home now, so she hasn't met. She trains I don't know, every other weekend maybe. She spends a bit of time up at my place, but she trains a little bit. She actually works on the north shore of Auckland, so she trains a little bit up at Lake Kirita, where the last Asian Oceania champs were, and also a little bit at the Iraqi Basin, which is in downtown Auckland. And to be honest, the Iraqi Basin is pretty similar here, except for it's salt water, but fairly open sort of a site and that. And she masters all of that. So, like I say, she's a hard worker on and off the water. And here she goes, 13-metre line. This is the green shortening, 32 off. Current lead, of course, is still with Peru, which is 2 on the 11.25-metre line, Maria Kuglevan. But here's Tony Atkinson now, 13-metre line. Bit of slack on 1. She's working hard here around 2. Oh, gee, she's going to be pushing hard here around 3. She needs a big 3-ball, and not bad, actually. Round 4, she's working hard. She can still do this, can she, Tony? Round 5. Oh, gee, she's going to be late, but I think she'll get there. And look at the strength as she goes out the exit gates in the big fist throw. I'll tell you what, Philippa, from where she was, you know, around 1 and 2 ball, that was a great effort there, the big Kiwi there to run that pass.
That was amazing. That was really amazing. Good job on her. She just kept her cool. She didn't freak out. She was late from, 3-ball? And later and later and later, and she just leaned back into it and kept the line tight and got around 6 and out through the gates, and that was amazing. Well done, Tony.
Okay, so we're getting better all the time here. We've now got a laptop in front of us with the leaderboard and Tony's profile, of course. She's from the North Shore of Auckland, as I mentioned. Currently resides in Browns Bay. And her PB, I can't see it right now on the screen, but I think I did see 3 at 12 metre, and I'd go with that because that's what I remember. So that, if she can get 3 at 12 here, which is her PB, she's going to be pretty happy. Yeah, it is 3 at 12. This is a good result for Tony. You know, she stood on the dock, and there's been a lot of girls miss their first pass this morning. And I know Tony, she would have been a little bit nervous about things, but the good news is she's been here for a week now, I think, training, which is a smart play. She's got her eye in on the conditions. So Tony Atkinson now, this is the blue shortening. This is 12-metre line from the northern end. 2019 World Championships. Into 1-ball she goes. Oh, not a great 1, but she will get to 2. She does. Not sure she'll get to 3. She works hard. Does she get 3? And Tony Atkinson, I think, has got a PB. There'll be a judge's call on those boat boys, but that is sensational. Oh, put your hands together. She is equal to PB at the World Championships. Tony Atkinson. Sensational skiing. I'll tell you what, almost as happy as Tony will be your dad, Hannaford Young, because he has just seen an equal PB here on his site. So all the hard work is coming together. Great stuff. We will get that official score because it was 3. Congratulations, Tony. It's a bit hard to see from my point of view, but I thought she was quite close to that boat boy, but obviously she was on the correct side of it. So that is a huge result for Tony Atkinson, Team New Zealand. Equal PB, 3 on the 12-metre line. Okay, next competitor, we're going to Great Britain. It's Eleanor Benjamin. Yeah, so we've got the leaderboard just running down. If you just joined us, of course, Maria Kuglevan of Peru, 2 at 11.25. She leads. Tony Atkinson moves into second with 3 on the 12-metre line. Then we go to Werribee Rosendale with 3.5 on the 14.25. She's in third. Back on the water, Great Britain. This young lady, of course, Eleanor Benjamin. Oh, this is looking pretty solid at the moment as she heads around 6 and out the entry gates, or exit gates. Apologies, I missed the start line length there for young Eleanor. It would either be 18 or 16 by the look of it. Yeah, it was 16 metre. So 16 metre pass is completed for our young British athlete. Of course, Team GB, Great Britain, took out the team's title at the Under-21 World Champs, which we saw in Canada only, 6 weeks ago. And that was the first time Great Britain had ever won a team's title. Now, it was obviously that victory was led, of course, by Rob Hazelwood and Joel Poland, among others. But they will be feeling reasonably confident of at least the top 3 finish, I would think, Great Britain in the team's event at these Worlds.
Oh, yeah. So I'm half English. Did you know that? So I'm rooting for Great Britain and Malaysia. Go Britain! And I'm married to a Kiwi, so I'm also going to support the Kiwis, of course. Here she comes in for a second pass, 14-meter line. The gates are a little bit better this time around. Oh, round 1. 2. Heading across to 3. Still looking good, looking comfortable. 4. Kind of cranks it a little bit. 5. She's going to make it. Am I going to jinx it? Yes! Nice pass at 14. She'll be happy with that, I think. Easy pass.
I think she will be happy. Yeah, that's a good 14.25 metre pass. Okay, I've just been talking to the Chief Judge, Candino, and he just wants everyone to know that we're going to start tricks at 10 a.m. So even though we're going to finish slalom probably 9:30, maybe 9:40, we are going to have a little break for 20 minutes or so, and start tricks at 10 a.m. Okay, 13-metre line now from the start dock end. Eleanor Benjamin representing Great Britain. Oh, geez, rears back a bit on 1. Round 2, she's late there. She's going to be working hard to get to 3, but she does. She's back on time to a little bit here. Yes, big 4 ball. She's out of shape for 5. Geez, this will be huge if she runs this. Slips inside 6. I'll tell you what, a little bit like Tony Atkinson, got in trouble early, but Tony was able to complete the pass. Eleanor didn't quite get there. I think 5 will be her score on the 13-metre line. Okay, we're not quite so sure what her PB is. She looks like the sort of skier that's probably got a PB around 3 or 4 at 12, I would think. But today, I think 5 at 13 will be her score. It's a former Munro skier, of course, by the look of it. Eleanor Benjamin. Just looking at what we do have on her profile. But anyway, 5 at 13 is a solid score for her. Considering the way she was looking around 3 and 4, I think 5 was probably about all she was going to get. Okay, so we go now, of course, to Chile. It's the last competitor in the women's slalom this morning. Josefa Gonzalez from Chile, 18 years of age. Personal best 3 on the 12-metre line from that very successful Gonzalez family out of Chile. Magnificent Nautique towboat, of course, making its way back to the start dock. This is the first Open Worlds, of course, where we've used the new Nautique ski boat. Of course, we used it last year at Junior Worlds, under 17 Worlds in Spain, and it's done Moomba, it's done US Masters, and of course Canadian under 21 Worlds 6 weeks ago. It's the first time, though, it's been used at the Open Worlds, but rave reviews, of course, this new Nautique. We're getting world records, we're getting site records, and we know we're going to get site records here, of course, I'm sure, in Putrajaya. We will let you know those site records at some stage. We do have a few kicking around, but I'm sure a lot will fall over the next few days. Unbelievable sight this, with a big grandstand, of course. Be lots of spectators here. Putrajaya, of course, is the government part, or the head of state section of the major city of Kuala Lumpur here in Malaysia. Population somewhere around 10 or 12 million, I think, in the greater Kuala Lumpur area. So certainly should see a decent crowd here for these World Championships as we watch Josefa Gonzalez. Yeah, and this looks pretty comfortable here. This is 16 metre, I believe. Funny old number 5 ball there, but she was never in huge trouble as she runs that opening pass.
Yeah, I think in Putrajaya there's about 90,000 residents, and probably in Kuala Lumpur there's maybe 7 million. So it does get kind of traffic jam up there.
Okay, interesting. I don't know whether I should comment on this. I guess I will, that two of the judges only scored Josefa 4 there, so obviously didn't think she went around 5, but the majority did score a 6. So that is interesting. I don't know why, but must have been quite close to that 5 ball. Must have maybe hit it and been on the correct side of it, obviously, but that's why we have 5 judges.
It's a real shame.
No, she scored the 6. It's not, so it's all good, Philippa. Stay relaxed. It's all good. She's got to score a 6. Yeah, so we're just to paint a picture. Putrajaya is probably what, half an hour, 40 minutes from downtown Kuala Lumpur. So population of 8-9 million, did you say? So this no.
Putrajaya, population 90,000.
Yeah, but population of Kuala Lumpur. Oh, geez. So we've had a video review, and the score has been reduced to 4 boys. So that is devastation for Chile and Josefa Gonzalez. So score of 4 boys there. Wow. So congratulations to the judges. They were the 2 judges that did see that. Well done. But there is a little bit, yeah, it's still only just 20 past 9 in the morning. There's a little bit of sun glare out there, so it's a little bit hard to see sometimes, but the judges are in the perfect spot to see everything, and that is a little disappointing. So that concludes Slalom for this morning. I've got to say, Philippa, there's been a couple of really good scores. Maria Kuglevan, 2 at 11.25, and sort of score that might just get her into the final. We'll have to wait and see. Tony Atkinson, equal PB, 3 at 12. Eleanor Benjamin, 5 at 13. Thai competitor, Wirara Rosendale, 3.5 at 14. But then, believe it or not, was quite a few skiers unfortunately did not run their opening pass. We had a miss gates from one competitor. We had a binding malfunction, I believe, from our Japanese competitor. It looked to me like she was around 2 ball there, that something happened. She managed to get around 4, but it was a problem with her front boot. It's been all sorts happening, but congratulations, as I said, well, to all our competitors for getting out there at a World Champs, but particularly to Maria Kuglevan with 2 at 11, and then Tony Atkinson, of course, a little bit biased, but that's a good effort. 3 at 12, equal PB under the pressure here at the World Champs. So we're going to have half-hour break now. We'll be back with men's trick prelim. Back at 10, yep. So we look forward to that. And so you can go away, have dinner, lunch, do a bit of work, go back to school, go back to bed. I don't know, for a little while, depending on where you are in the world. but we'll be back at 10 o'clock our time for the Men's Tricks Series 4, which will follow Series 3. Oh, sorry, which will be followed by Series 3.
Come to Putrajaya, Malaysia this August to watch the world's best water skiers in action. Don't miss it.
Best water skiers in the world compete at the 2019 World Waterski Championships in Putrajaya, Malaysia.
Say the wrong thing.
Oh, so it's only one slalom and 2 tricks, is it? I think so. Can you just put a message?
So,
What do you want me to put a message?
Barnett tomorrow can do, I guess we should write this down. He can do Series 6
Oh,
slalom, Series 3 on women's trick.
Nigel came up saying the thing on trying to find
that's something today.
Claire on iPhone.
But that'll be the Series 6 is going to be the first thing of slalom. So it'll be 8 a.m.
Yeah, he's trying to watch
So
the
you
video
might need to
of
do the
the
first
webcast
class
on the
one.
iPhone just now while you were downstairs. He says it was difficult. They couldn't find it, or keep on flicking down.
So
or
we'll do,
whatever.
if your dad brings this guy, was he the president of
Yeah, he should be here soon.
So we'll do him when the trick starts, I guess.
Can you look at it on your phone?
Okay, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. We're about to get underway with the Series 4 men's tricks. So we've got 10 in Series 4 and then 10 skiers in Series 3 men's tricks. That's all the tricking for today. The top trickers will be a little bit later on in the week, the top couple of series. But yeah, and we do that tricking, and then of course later on this afternoon sometime we've got Series 3 of ladies jump, and that will be our program for today. Welcome to everybody on site, of course, here watching this magnificent event, the 2019 World Championships, and of course to everyone around the webcast. Welcome to you, whatever time it may be. Just run through just before our first tricker. I'll run through who we've got tricking in this event. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about our sponsors. Men's 4 tricks. First up from China will be Zhangji Zhong. Then we go to Chile, and that'll be Emil Ritter. Then the Korean athlete Taehao Chung. Then a couple of Japanese competitors, Ryota Funo and Yuichi Yamamoto. Then we go to Netherlands, and one of the coolest names in world water skiing. It's going to be Freak School. Korea again, Min Song Ju from Korea. Then we go to Indonesia, Dimas Rido Safono. And then of course a couple of Kiwis in George Donaldson and Hugh Donaldson. Hopefully I pronounced those names correctly. And then of course after that we'll have Series 3 men's tricks. Look forward to that. Joined in commentary by Philippa Jung.
Oh, yeah. And in Series 3 men's tricks, we have, of course, the 2 amazing Malaysian skiers, Adam and Aiden, also known as Upin and Ipin, after the local cartoon series.
Younger brothers, of course.
Yeah, my younger brothers. They're pretty interchangeable because they look so similar, but the chubbier one is Adam, but they're full of life, full of beans, nice kids.
Yeah, so we're just watching that Nautique towboat head down. It's doing an extra 2 or 3 fandom passes than normal, just to make sure we get the same conditions for all the competitors. We have, of course, had a half-hour break here. So we make sure it is the World Champs. We make sure all competitors get the same conditions. A sensational Nautique towboat, of course, one of the major sponsors of not only this World Championships, but World Water Skiing. In fact, all the World Championships are towed by the Nautique. Actually, we just take this opportunity to look at a few of our sponsors. Of course, World Water Skiers, which is bringing us this webcast. Malaysia Tourism. Man, what magnificent hosts the Malaysians are. Certainly enjoyed my time here, and they're just magnificent, beautiful city of Putrajaya here. Of course, IWWF helping bring us this KBS. What did KBS do, Philippa?
That's Kementerian Belia dan Sukan. It's our sports ministry.
Right, sports ministry. Of course, the Malaysian Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture helped out with this event. Malaysian Waterski and Wakeboard Federation, Malaysian Convention and Exhibition Bureau, all contributed, as I've already mentioned, Nautique.
Perbadanan Putrajaya.
Yeah,
that's
Perbadanan.
the city of Putrajaya, who have been amazing supporters and have done all this support you see on the ground, all the amazing
Absolutely.
tents.
And then the Everly in Putrajaya, where a lot of the athletes are staying. The WWWC, which is not anything to do with wrestling, I wouldn't think.
No.
What's that, Philippa? Is that?
That's the local company run by Hanifa Young. They're the
Oh, right,
operators
that's
here,
it.
and
Yep,
they've
okay, so it's exciting.
huge support.
And of course, Zenith Putrajaya, where a lot of the officials are staying, and then the New Straight Times, which is the newspaper. But we're on the water now. We're going to China, folks. This is Zhongyue Zhong from China, Chinese national coach. I noticed getting in the boat with. He's going to be releasing. We're going to start with hand run here, I would say. Wake back to backs, of course. Good stuff. Wake 5 front is good. And we've got another wake 5 front. A couple of great tricks. Wake O. We're going to go into the flips now. Up he goes and over. Oh, good flip. Chinese competitor. Reverse flip is also good. Getting it done. Has he got a back landing to finish? I think he does. Oh, great stuff. Racing the clock. Front flip. Doesn't quite get it, but that's great tricking. Opening hand pass.
Yeah, that was a good try from him.
Yeah,
actually.
Zhaying Shong from China.
Doesn't look like that's a regular trick from him, but that was a good try. Otherwise, all the other tricks are pretty clean, I thought.
Yeah, I'm thinking that if I was judging, I'd be scoring all those tricks, but of course I'm not. We've got a panel down somewhere below us in this magnificent officials tower here at Putrajaya. They'll be judging all the tricks. And we'll get scores as quickly as we can to you. But that was an excellent run from the Chinese competitor.
So Chief Judge said if there are any falls in the course, the skiers will be taken down to the end of the lake and dropped in for 60 seconds, which I guess they're going to be doing right now.
Yeah, so it's lucky for the skiers because they get a ride in that magnificent Nautique towboat down to the northern end. Chinese coach, great pictures here, isn't he? He's just pointing something out here. I reckon he's telling his competitor when he needs to start tricking, which is something you see a lot from coaches and skiers to make sure, because if you start tricking before that second buoy, you don't always get scored the tricks, of course, so it's always important. I'm sure they've trained and they'll know, but the coach just making sure that this young bloke here, he knows exactly when to start his trick run. You can see, actually, if you look at the pictures there, Philippa, it looks a little choppy, but when the skiers actually start tricking, they're under the protection of the wave and wake barrier that's been put in here at Putrajaya. So I think conditions pretty good, really, for the trickers when they're in their actual course here.
Yeah, I don't think the video is very indicative of the actual water condition. It does look pretty good from up here.
Well, obviously they're pretty good because that was a magnificent opening hand pass from our Chinese competitor, Shanji Shong.
Yep, and the start buoy is white color as he comes back into the course.
Yeah,
So he's to
that's
start
right.
after the white buoy.
Yeah, there'll be a green buoy, of course, which is a 50-meter warning buoy. Gives our judges a bit of a chance to look at things. They sort of get an idea of how far away they are from judging, and the skier gets prepped and the driver gets prepped, and then of course once they pass that, the white buoy, the second buoy, that's when they can start tricking. They don't have to start right on it. They can pause just a little while before they start, but generally you'll see them start just after that white buoy. Now each of the skiers have 20 seconds per pass to get as many points as they possibly can.
Oh, that speed looks really slow, doesn't it?
It does. It looks too slow to me, but this is obviously, the skiers take whatever speed they want, and this is what they've chosen here. Looks like he's wrapping up probably a tow 360 or maybe a tow 5 back. We'll have to wait and see.
Oh,
Beautiful
nice.
tow 5 back. It's nice and smooth. Good deal. The Chinese tricking program looks alive and well, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Philippa, you and I skied a few Asian Oceania champs over the years, and
shame.
there's a lot of good trickers have come out of China over the years, haven't there?
Yep. Most notably, Emin.
Emin was
She was really
sensational.
big in the 90s. Yeah, she was supposed to be here, I think, but she's not coming.
You know, I think Emin at the top of her powers is probably top 10 in the world in women's tricks, I would have thought. Am I stretching it a little bit? She was certainly very solid, you know.
Yeah, back in the day.
Back
yeah,
in the day. I mean,
maybe.
you know, we're talking late 80s, early 90s, and I think, you know, world women's record then probably around 8,500 points. So, and Yimin, I've got a feeling she tricked over 6,000 points. Does that sound right, or am I making? I think
that sounds about right.
Sensational stuff from the Chinese competitor. Be great to see her on site.
Yeah, back then with the trick releases, it was a little bit dodgy,
That was
right?
very different, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, a lot of the world still use mechanical trick releases. The rope releases, which are popular now, that was invented actually in Australia, believe it or not. It's unusual for Australians to come up with something so innovative, but they did.
Yeah, it's so much better.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
we
a
used to
lot
have a
safer,
lot of
yeah.
accidents with those old releases.
We did. The old mechanical release, because if you notice there, I guess if you're on the webcast, you understand tricking, but if you're on site, you notice that the skiers rope on tow, they're very trusting of the release person in the boat to let them go, because if they don't, they can get dragged along and get injuries. Some of the old mechanical releases from back in the day would seize up, particularly when a skier was outside the wake. They'd get a bit of a sideways pull. Didn't always release. So what's your all-time trick PB, Philip? I'll hear what yours is, and then I'll decide what I'm going to tell you what mine was.
Oh my God, I think it was maybe 3003 if I was lucky.
Oh jeez, well that's pretty much the same as mine. A little bit more, but not much. I never quite made it to 4,000. Okay,
Oh.
this guy, I like this guy. He is Teiho Chung. So I don't know what's happened to Emil Ritter, who's on our list. He hasn't
Yeah.
made the start dock. That is interesting. But Teiho Chung, of course, who's probably better known as Tony. Watch out for this guy in slalom. He's an absolute sensation, and possibly Asia's #1 men's slalomer, but I don't know. I could be just making that up. But he's a sensation in slalom. But let's see how he goes in tricks. Talented young skier. I think out of the Jimmy Gion stable. Spends a bit of time up there in Florida with Jimmy and with Scott Ellis, and also with I've seen him at Kai Leeds at Ski Fluid skiing. Tricking's not his main event. He's a slalom skier, but he's out there, of course, getting team points for Korea. Flip coming up, good stuff. Oh, just falls there on the reverse flip. In fact, his boot released there. I'm not sure he's going to get it anyway. It's a solid hand pass there for Teiho Chung.
Just looking a little bit behind on the ski, right, after the first flip. Just came in off balance and just came off. I don't know if they're going to tighten that boot, but maybe they should.
Yeah, especially if they, well, mind you, have a different release system on a slalom ski, I guess. It might be the same boot, but different release. But yeah, the release looks a little loose there. So Teiho Chung is, he wouldn't be the tallest slalom skier in the world. I've seen him. I've sat in the boat. I've driven for him a few times over the years. He regularly runs deep into 10.75. So he's a solid skier, and I actually think one of the slalom skiers that will do quite well here in these conditions. He's used to slaloming, of course, around Asia, and the water dust skier always skis a little bit different in Asia. So I look forward to seeing him slalom a little bit later on. Still young, still
only 19.
19 years of age. So.
And these Asian skiers for the first time are competing for the Best Asian Awards, of course.
Right. Yeah.
So Friday, 4 p.m., we're going to acknowledge who are the best in Asia.
There we go.
Give them some recognition for all their hard work.
That's great. Because you've got Asian Championships coming up soon. Did I hear you say this morning?
September in Bangkok. So really looking
September in
forward to
Bangkok.
that. I think I'll be down there judging. So
good.
Should be a good one. Especially with Singer as a sponsor.
There we go. Yeah, it's great. One of the great things about the World Champs here, of course, in Putrajaya, is that we will get a lot more competitors out of Asia. Quite often when they're in Europe or South America, we don't actually see a lot of Asian competitors. It's great to see them here. Okay, we're watching the men's trick
Now?
Series 4. We've got Teiho Chung of Korea. We seem to have a late scratching from Chilean competitor Emil Ritter, who of course is one of the best jump skiers in the world, so we will see him later on in the Worlds, obviously deciding not to trick. Here's rope on toe for Teiho Chung of Korea.
What? Oh. Okay, so yeah, tricks is not his strong suit. So toe back, toe front, reverse toe back, reverse toe front, back to back to back. Yep, a little bit choppy. Oh, and he goes down. Yes, not his best discipline for sure. Much better on the slalom and the jump. I just got word that the president of Putrajaya City is here. Welcome to Dr. Amin. So happy to have you here. Hopefully we'll have him up here for the webcast.
It'd be great to have a
little
chat
bit
to
later.
him, because they're great supporters, of course, of these World Championships, Putrajaya City. And look, if I was ever going to be a president of a city, and it's highly unlikely I was, but geez, if I was, I wouldn't mind it being this city. This is one of the most amazing cities I've ever seen. It's so beautiful. Lots of magnificent buildings, architecture, clean. You know, it's great to see. Really well looked after city. So we look forward to meeting the president of the city, which I guess in New Zealand we'd call him the mayor, I guess, but he's the president of the city, so should have him here. He's going to hopefully come and join us in commentary for a little while, and we can talk about what they're doing for sport here in Putrajaya, and great to have him helping out here, hosting these World Waterski Champs. Next competitor, we're going from Korea, we're going across the strait there to Japan, and we've got Ryota Funo of Japan. I've seen this guy trick before at a couple of regional championships, also at University World Championships. I think he skied when they were in Japan a couple of years ago. I'm gonna say he's Japan's #1 male tricker, but I don't know that for sure. But he seems to be pretty good. There's not a lot between him and Yuichi Yamamoto, of course, we'll see a little bit later on.
Yeah, Japan has got some phenomenal trick skiers. I think they've either retired or just couldn't make it down this time.
Didn't make it down, yeah.
They've got a thriving university scene in Japan.
They do.
So they come down here and train during the winter. So it's good to see this guy still skiing after university. I'll get him to.
Okay, so we're just watching Ryoto Futo here from Funo. Ryoto Funo from Japan, pass #1. We'll just watch his hand run, and then we're going to introduce you to a very important guest shortly, but we're watching Japanese competitor Ryoto Funo here on his hand run. He's going well here, isn't he? He's going to stand up. He's trying to get as many tricks as he can under 20 seconds allowed, and he does. And that's a good opening pass. Welcome. Welcome. Moving. Come on. Men's tricks. Okay, watching Men's Tricks Series 4 at the moment, and welcome to the world of water skiing on the webcast and everyone here on site. And we're joined by a very special guest, of course, the president of Putrajaya.
Yeah,
of course,
exactly.
well done, welcome. Pick up the microphone, mate. Well, first of all, I'm all the way from New Zealand. I am so impressed with your city here. It is it's absolutely sensational, beautiful, clean, modern buildings. You must be very proud.
Thank you very much. So welcome to Putrajaya. So this is where we can see all the events is happening.
Yeah.
So I'm quite excited to know that worlds are actually looking at us.
Yeah.
So hopefully for the next 5 days or 6 days.
6 days, yeah.
Everything's go smooth, and whatever you need, just let us know.
Thank you. Very, you're the guys running this event, super friendly and well organised. I've been to a lot of these events, and this is in a magnificent site. We've got the beautiful grandstand there, absolute world-class judges tower here, administration centre. We'll just watch this toe run here from our Japanese competitor, Ryoto Funo. Good toe tricking. Beautiful. Toe 5 front looks good.
He likes dancing on the water.
Yeah, it is. It's like dancing on the water. What do you think? You reckon you could have a go at that?
Oh no. I need a lot of years of practicing.
Yeah, it does. A lot of years of practice, but that's a good run. Japanese competitor. First guy, I think, to stand up both passes.
Wow, stand up run, that's great.
So this is the for the rest of the world out there that don't quite. So Putrajaya is the sort of the government centre of Malaysia. This is where it all happens.
We have most of the ministries here in
Yeah.
all over Malaysia. Everything centered here. So this is where we run Malaysia. So basically this is where we do policies, we make sure that everything's smooth, as well as making sure that this year international water ski championships goes well, including that.
Well, that's
So we are here to assist. For many years we haven't had any this sort of thing sports in Putrajaya. So by having this year, which is after the last time we were told that 2008.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had the World Cup stops here, which were great.
And
Great events.
2009.
And 2009. Yeah.
Okay. Then for many years we haven't had anything. So now this year, very exciting year. So hopefully everything goes well. So good luck to everyone.
Thank you very much, and it's just from the world of water skiing. Thanks for everything you're doing to help out, and it's great. You're wonderful hosts of this event. Okay, so I'm from New Zealand, and of course our national sport is rugby, and I've just been given the cue that you're a rugby player. So
Used to be.
so what are you, hooker, halfback?
Flanker.
Flanker. There you go,
number
mate. Number 7. Well, there you go. That's probably the tough. Well, you might looking at me. I'm a prop. So there you go.
Right.
Yeah, I'm a prop. So there you go. Most of the world don't know what we're talking about, but it's great. It's great. Malaysia has a rugby team. Actually, I'm not sure if my son Curtis is listening. He's in California, but he was a flanker. He's an open side.
All right.
Yeah, a little bit taller than you though. So but
Most rugby players now are very big.
yeah, they are
Huge
big.
size.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got a second Japanese competitor of the morning. We've got Yuichi Yamamoto from Japan. He's going to start rope on toe. I think he's our first competitor to do that. Doesn't really make a lot of difference. He's just looking at the wind and thinking he wants to start on toe. No worries.
Thank you.
Okay, so the president is leaving the building, but geez, it's been good to meet him. Oh, she's falling on that toe wake front or something. I think it was.
That
Just
was a huge one. He got
Yeah.
so much air and he just bounced off his ski and fell back. Wow. I don't know what happened there.
Mm.
Yeah, thank you so much to the president who's leaving the building. Great help on and off the water he has been. So thank you so much, Mr. President.
Yeah. Good positive attitude too, and it's great to see cities getting in behind sports no matter what they are.
Okay.
It's a little bit unfortunate there for
Yuichi?
yeah, because he'd done a lot of the hard tricks in his run. He was just trying to get those kind of like the icing on the cake, finish off with some easier wake tricks, and just sort of fell a bit far back on that toe wake front.
Yeah, hopefully he was at the end of the run, just about done. So
I think my dad has to be doing it, and I interrupted him, so he's just catching up.
it's a beautiful day here in Putrajaya. Normally when the ski stops at the end, the boat driver has to change all the settings on the control panel there. The skier's friend gets up to do the rope and helps him with his ski and stuff. So there's quite a few settings to change when you're down at the course. So the skiers really appreciate that 60 seconds delay.
It's great. It's a great moment. It's a great thing about our sport, though. I love it. I've got 2 or 3 kids skiing, at a national and sometimes international level, and being the release person and being part of it, you're part of the team out there. It's quite important. Obviously if you release them too early, then they don't get the score that they're after. If you release them too late, they can get injured. So it's, you're part of it. You're helping calm the nerves. There's also a time restraint there. You've got to get the skier back in the water in 30 seconds, so you can't, if there's equipment issues or whatever, So it's great being the release person out there involved as we watch Yamamuchi now with pass number 2.
Yeah. Well, over here is 60 seconds. So
60 seconds, right. 60-second drop time up there, I guess. Just a little bit extra time to let things settle down. Here we go. Wake back-to-backs. One-handed back, reverse wake back-to-back, one of my favourites. Here he comes into the flips. He needs to get a couple of flips here because he hasn't done a lot up till now, but he has, and there's some high points. There's going to be the back to front, is it?
Oh my goodness.
Bit of a
Good
yard
try,
sale there.
Yuichi.
Wow. Good effort though. There was a couple of flips there, a couple of 500-point flips there.
Yeah.
So solid stuff. I think though, I was right in saying that Japan's best tricker was up first, Ryoto Funo. I think he'll get a few more points.
Yeah. Going back to that release story you were just saying, 2011, Alia was 8 in the SEA Games, and my dad was releasing for her, and thank goodness he was, because she fell, and he didn't release, and she stood back up.
There we go.
And she won the SEA Games, youngest ever participant at 8 years old, and that was amazing. So I was glad I wasn't releasing her that day.
Yeah. Yeah, your dad does strike me as the sort of guy that wouldn't release too early. If
Yeah.
anything, he'd be on the late side, and good on him. Good solid ski dad.
Yeah.
So we're going now to the Netherlands, and I'm sure his parents think this is a perfectly normal name, but from New Zealand I find his name is Freak School.
Yep, a very unusual name for sure.
But probably the way you say freak is not actually freak. It's probably something like Frike or something
Or
like that. But we're
Freak.
going to call him Freak School from the
Yeah.
Netherlands.
Yeah, I do have to meet him. I'm quite curious actually how to pronounce his name.
Well, he's not visual right now. He's actually the invisible skier at the moment. But I'm not sure what's happening here. Just doing a phantom pass. They might be checking some equipment or just running the boat up and down.
The judges got a delay and they want to keep the water.
Yeah, so for some reason we had a little bit of a delay, so they want to keep the water conditions the same for everyone, and so they're going to run the boat up and just make sure that conditions stay the same for all our competitors. So we look at the Series 4 tricks. We've got Freak School from the Netherlands up next. Then we've got Zongmin Yul from Korea.
Dimas from Indonesia,
Dimas
and then
Safino from Indonesia, and then of course the two Kiwis. George, and then Hugh Donaldson.
And they're twins, aren't they?
Yeah, they are certainly. They are twins, yes. So that means they're the same age.
Mhm. Yeah, I kind of got that.
And then we go to, of course, Series 3 tricks, which you got your two baby brothers, Adam and Aiden. Then we have Aussie Josh Wallen, Rafael Diosma from Peru, Patrick Chris, Aussie. So a couple of Aussies coming up. Harry Spavin of Great Britain, Damir Flaratov of the Ukraine, and I'm surprised he's in Series 3. He's a very good trick skier. He might be coming off an injury, because normally you'd see him up in Series 2. Then we've got Luca Spinelli of Italy, and then the Slovakian Marek Melnik. So a lot of good trickers to come here this morning. Okay, so we've got some scores come through. First competitor from China was Juni Zhong, and he scored 4,260 points, so he's our current leader. We also had a score from Taeho Chung of Korea with 2,160 points. So the Chinese lead the men's tricks at the moment, because early days, a long, long way to go. But congratulations to Juni Zhong of China with 4,260. An opportunity to see the sensational Nautic towboat make its way down. Pretty happy to say one of these boats, I don't know if it's the blue boat or the red boat, is off to New Zealand after these Worlds.
I thought the red boat was off to Australia.
Okay, the red. So this blue boat's going to New Zealand. Well, that's good. So this blue boat we will see, for those watching in New Zealand, we will see towing a few tournaments possibly in New Zealand this summer. We'll look forward to that. I like the president of Putrajaya. He's a nice guy, actually.
Oh yeah.
He's a happy sort of a fellow. Seems to be a bit of a Waterski fan, and he's a rugby player, so...
Yeah, I always love
Listen,
a
well.
man who's into his sports, that's for sure.
Oh, there we go. That's good to hear, Philippa. But yeah, I mean, you can't say enough about what the city of Putrajaya has done for world water skiing by helping to put on this event. Magnificent grandstand that we've got here, and I think we'll get a good crowd here over the weekend. I'm sure we will. Like as we mentioned earlier, only sort of 40 minutes from downtown Kuala Lumpur, which is a population of 8 or 9 million, so we should see a good crowd in this weekend.
Yeah, and of course the carnival starts on Thursday.
Yep,
We're going to have about 40 food trucks and artists and all kinds of side events. So
which has worked really well for Moomba over the years. You know, I've been involved with Moomba for a while, and the carnival brings the people out and You know, they take a break from the carnival rides and come down, sit down and watch the water skiing for a couple of hours. And
Yeah,
and that sort of
Alia's
thing.
favorite tournament.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's my favourite tournament as well. So Alia has good taste.
Here comes Mr. School.
Yep, freak school now out of the Netherlands. Big strapping lad. He's strong, isn't he? And I'd say slalom and jump probably more his cup of tea. By the look of his body shape and his tricking so far, with all due respect. But he's getting it done. Oh, geez. If he's got a flip, then he's going to get some big points.
Oh,
just case the
shame.
wake, as they say. Use a bit
Yeah,
of trick skiing
just a little bit
lance.
short.
Yeah.
I
Fell off
wonder
a
if
little
he's
bit short.
running any wake on that boat, because a lot of the skiers have chosen to go 0% wake.
So it's obviously reasonably deep out there then, is it? I hadn't figured that out yet. But these new Nautiques do have a big wake, actually. They're really good for trick skiing. And they do have the ability, of course, to get some ballast in with the ballast tanks. But the fact that a lot of skiers are running with zero ballast suggests to me it must be reasonably deep out there in the lake for tricking, which is great. That'll help our trick scores, particularly when we get to our top seeds. So we've still just got the 2 trick scores through, but we're trying to get some more through. Still got leading is Juni Zhong from China with 4,260, and then we've got Korean athlete Taeho Chung in second spot with 2160. But there'll be more skiers than that. There'll be more scores coming through. In fact, I think that Ryoto Funo, I think he might have tricked over 4,000 points. So we'll wait for that score to come through. But he was certainly looked pretty good to me as we watch Freak School at the moment. He hasn't got a lot of points out of his first pass, to be brutally honest. I think probably less than 1,000 off his first pass, so he needs a really good second pass here to get his points up. So Philippa, I see a bit of a shot there of the edge of the lake. That's a restaurant you were telling me this morning that comes out there on the pier. That's not a bad place to go and have dinner, is it?
Oh yeah, but it's closed at the moment,
it's closed at the
unfortunately.
moment.
Yeah, Doubletree is going to take it over.
Okay.
Just now in the picture before this, the building on top was the convention center where we're going to have the Hall of Fame and the closing dinner. Beautiful sight.
That's amazing, yeah. Okay, rope on toe now for Freak School out of Netherlands. He's a really good toe run because it's unfortunately falling on the flip. First flip, he's probably only got 700 or 800 points out of his first pass. Go back to front. Yeah, not quite so sure there, but that toe wake front wasn't too bad. He's piling a few points on here. He's not going to win the trig event at the Worlds, I wouldn't think, but
No.
he's out there having fun, representing his country.
Yeah, and he'll swim back to shore.
Yeah, it's not a bad morning for a swim. Temperatures here fairly warm, as you'd expect in Southeast Asia. It's probably around 30 degrees at the moment. Looking for a high, I think I saw on the weather, of about 33 or 34 degrees.
Yeah, it's so warm here. Some of the skiers, when they train a lot here, their hands rip a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot like Florida. Not that I've done a lot of skiing in Florida, but if you're not used to it, if you come especially from a country like New Zealand, your hands can rip open a little bit with the warm water and the warm weather.
Korea's up next. Seong Min Ju. Do we know anything about him?
We'll have a look and see. We look on the profiles, of course, but if you haven't filled out your World Water Skiers profile, we don't know a lot about you. So we do need you to go on to worldwaterskiers.com and fill out your profile. She's just 16 years of age. She's out of the Jimmy John stable, of course. Started skiing at 10 years of age. She's coached by Jimmy John, Tom Asher and June Asher, formerly June Fladborg, who, by the way, just dropped this in, has the course record here in jump. We looked that up earlier on today, didn't we? June, if you're watching there, we've got 48.7 metres.
In
Gonna go on, so I
2008.
don't think
Wow.
she will have that record for too much longer. But June Fladborg Asher, of course, the current course record holder in ladies jump, and she is one of the coaches of this young guy who's up. Zeong Min Chu from Korea, rope on toe to start, toe 5 back to back, toe 180s, toe slides. Toe wake 180s, toe 360s are good. You're not quite so sure. The judging, at a World Championships has got to be absolutely perfect, and that's the way it should be. And there's a couple of toe tricks in there I'm not so sure that he'll get paid for, but still, he stands up and he's happy. Little fist pump.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the toe wake front, right? Because you have to go over the wake, and I
Yeah,
think
you
it was
do
just
have
on
to
the
go.
same side. So
He also meant to get a little bit of height.
yeah,
So I'm not quite so sure, but we'll wait and see. We don't want to prejudge it. We don't want to get in the. Not that the judges will be listening to us. The judges will be isolated in a little booth down there and concentrating,
yeah, all separated.
all separated, so they don't get any. They just get their own opinions, which is great to see. Probably running 5 trick judges, and they'll be watching the tricks like we are, though, with the feed from the boat, so they get to see what we're seeing and what you're seeing on the webcast.
Yeah, maybe a rerun.
If they require it, yeah, they can have an extra look at the trick runs, and that will happen from time to time, particularly when we get into the 10,000 plus runs.
Who are you looking forward to for tricks coming up?
Well, I mean, if you start with the women's tricks, it's a 3-way tie, isn't it, between Erica Lang, Anna Gay and Neely Ross. It's very hard to pick between those 3, and then you get there are other skiers like Natalia Kuglevan, Kennedy Hansen, other skiers, and I'm sure there's others that are in with a shot, but that women's tricks is so close it's almost impossible to tell. In fact, I think Anna Gay and Neely Ross, I watched them at the Under-21 Worlds in Canada, and they have the exact same trick runs. So it comes down to speed, really, and how it all goes. Men's tricks, of course, I watched Alexei Janacek do his trick for Mill yesterday, and he looked pretty good to me out there on the water, but there's youngsters coming through now, of course. Doreen Llewellyn, Danilio Flachenko from the Ukraine, he's in good form. Joel Poland, who is from Britain, who's in unbelievable form. So there's plenty of good tricks here. As Adam said, it's very hard to pick in the men's. But yeah, I mean, you got to love the men's, both the men's and the women's tricking. Great events. As we watch our Korean competitors, 16 years of age.
Oh, his hands are a lot better. Some nice flips here.
Back landing flip is good. What's he got to finish off? Reverse back landing.
Nice.
This is good tricking. Just 16 years of age, and I've got a 16-year-old at home, and I'd be pretty happy if they could do those flips. That's sensational stuff. From young Zeong Min from Korea. Zeong Min Chu from Korea. Next competitor from Indonesia, Dimas Rido Safrino from Indonesia.
Seems to be a fan of the D3s. All his skis are on the D3. And his personal best at slalom is 4:12. That's pretty good. Oh. That was for Seong Min-ju, of course. Dimas Ridho, we don't have his profile up yet, but don't think he's got the same scores as Seong.
So Indonesia, we're in that part of the world, and Indonesia's a huge country, really, with a lot of islands. And these guys, where does most of the skiing happen in Indonesia? Is it just across the strait from here, or is it down?
Oh,
Like
that's
down around
huge. I
all
think
over, or?
there's
Yep.
all over. There's five big provinces that fight it out. We should get them to talk about it actually, because it's really interesting.
Yeah.
Like they have their big games coming up, and the winners win a house. Like
What?
it's big money. It's
So
called
that
PON. P-O-N.
So they have a water ski championships in Indonesia.
It's like a national champion. It's like it's
Yeah.
all the sports together, and water ski is one of the sports.
Oh, okay.
And it's
you
huge.
win a house.
Yeah. It's massive money. So I might be going down there to judge as well. It's
You
amazing.
should go down there and ski. You might win a house in Indonesia.
Change my passport.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, New Zealand water ski nationals, you don't win a house for winning, unfortunately. Here we go.
Positional back.
He's built for tricks, isn't he? He's a solid, strong guy, actually built for tricks and jump. Flips are great. Back landing flip.
Oh.
Yeah, just on that back to front flip, didn't really get enough height, but falls. But this is a solid run though for young Dimas out of Indonesia. As we're watching the men's trick elimination round here, of course this is series 4. We have series 3 coming up very soon, and then we wait, I think, until Thursday before we have the series 2 and 1 of men's tricks.
Born in 2000.
Yeah, so what is that? 18 years of age. His birthday's in November, so he's about to turn 19. Yeah, is that personal best? 34.90.
This was in the Asian Beach Games 2014 in Phuket. Yeah, he got 3,490. So let's see if he can beat it today.
A little bit of confusing because it says he's 13 years of age, but he was born in
Oh no,
the year 2000.
because I think it was.
Oh, I see. Righto. This is an old profile.
The Asian Beach Games in Phuket was amazing. Really nice island. Good competition.
Well, it's great to see this young Indonesian competitor. Great flipping there. He had the ordinary flip, the reverse, and then of course the back landing as well. So it was some great flip skiing. Toe run to come. The beauty of these, around this part of the world, Malaysia, Indonesia, is the climate for water skiing is unbelievable. It's probably, arguably, is the best in the world. I can't think of anywhere really. I mean,
it's a bit of a problem though, because do you train all year round or do you take a break?
Yeah, good question. Yeah, because breaks are good time to time, especially with the junior skiers as they're growing up. But whereas a country like New Zealand, you are kind of forced to take a break, for depending on where you live. But some parts of New Zealand, you've got to have almost a 6-month break. Here we go, toe fly back to start. And then of course, countries like Canada, if you skied all around in Canada,
Oh my
that's
goodness.
disappointing because he was going pretty well there and he just lost control of the rope. It got away from him a bit.
Yeah, just unwrapping for the toe O and just don't know what happened there. He just lost balance and fell backwards. Like,
Yeah, as I was just saying, Canada, Northern Europe, places like that, it's really only a 4-month season for skiing. So, mind you, they produce some very good water skiers. So either they're travelling a lot to warmer climates or they're just packing a lot into that short season.
yeah, I don't know how they do it, man. You cold country people, you're super tough. Like tropical skiers are just so spoiled. We find it really hard to go to cold countries. Really tough.
Yeah, I've stood on the start dock with your sister and your dad at Moomba in March, and it's probably still been 16 or 17 degrees, which is cold, but it's not freezing, far from it. And the Malaysians are shivering away there with all the clothes they've got. Anyway, we've got some scores through. Junji Zhong of China still leads with 42.60, and then Japan, Ryoto Funo, 39.30s in second. Yuichi Yamamoto, also from Japan, 24.50. Taeho Chung from Korea, 21.60. Freak School in fifth spot with 15.20. But now we go to the Kiwis, of course, and the New Zealand Waterski fans will all be tuning in on the webcast. It's mid-afternoon in New Zealand, and we've got George Donaldson.
Do they ski with you, Glenn?
No, they're from the South Island, actually. They ski down in Canterbury. In fact, most of the New Zealand team are from Canterbury, 4 out of 6 skiers. So they're right in there on a different island, probably 1,000 kilometres south of where I live. So it's a pretty chilly place in winter, and it's pretty chilly even for tricking all year round, really. Yeah, so George's best is 47.50. You see his twin brother Hugh will be up next. He's probably slightly better in the trick event, but George is a solid 3-event skier. It's his first World Championships. In open, of course, he skied under 21 and under 17 world titles. He'll start rope on toe. I think that's Dad Neil in the boat releasing for him. It's been a bit of time this New Zealand winter or Northern Hemisphere summer skiing with Kyle Lead in Orlando at Ski Fluid, and Kyle may still be awake. If he is, a shout out to Kyle. It's starting to get pretty late, I'd say, there in Florida. This is solid stuff at the moment. Oh, falling on a toe wake back, a reverse toe wake back. It's not a hard trick for George. You wouldn't expect him to fall, but solid toe run. Nothing too exceptional, but he's got most of the way down it.
Yeah, it was solid, and it was just within time as well, so I think he'll be happy with that.
So hands, of course, he's got some flips. He's got 3 or 4 flips, and he'll be making sure he gets those. Currently attending university in Christchurch, New Zealand.
So who's better, him or his brother?
In tricks, his brother is a little better. They're so close. They've been fighting it out since they were 8 years of age. I'm going to say George is a slightly better slalomer, but there's not really anything in it. And Hugh's a slightly better jumper. So, this George is the sort of guy that will give 3 solid backup scores to the New Zealand team. And I would say New Zealand will end up using his trick score, hopefully, if he can stand up this next run. So that's great to see. George competed at the Under-21 Worlds 6 weeks ago in Canada. Didn't probably have an exceptional Worlds by his standards, but he was there doing it. And see, they came out of the Donaldson boys came out of a New Zealand winter, had maybe 1 week, maybe 10 days to a week skiing in Florida with Kyle, and then straight to Canada. Then they went back to Kyle's and had 3 weeks with Kyle. So I think they're probably better acclimatized for these Worlds than they were for under-21s. They've also spent some time with Emma Huberman, who's actually skiing these Worlds, but she's got a ski school in Queensland, in Australia, which is reasonably warm for winter. So they've been a bit of time there this winter, a lot of time with Kyle Lead in Orlando, and then the last 4 or 5 days here in Putrajaya. So be hoping for a stand-up pass. Most of his points will come from his hand run, especially if he can get those 3 or 4 flips, which he's capable of. It's pretty amazing that the 2 twins are skiing back to back, because this is a seeded draw, but I think it's random. Once you get within the seed, I could be wrong, but I think it's a seeded draw. But either way, all the skiers in the world, you get 2 twins standing on the dock skiing, and then next we have 2 brothers skiing. So it's definitely a family sport, isn't it, around it? Well, here we go. George Donaldson, wake 5 back. The start, he's almost down, but no, he recovers. Jeez! Oh, devastation for the Kiwi team and George Donaldson.
Oh man, that is so unfortunate.
Absolutely. he fell actually on a really easy trick, and that's what hurt you, but it's not the easy trick. It was because he stumbled on the wake fight back, which he didn't really settle enough. So that is, geez, you can tell the emotion coming out in my voice because I'm completely biased being a Kiwi. Yeah, New Zealand needed him to score a little better really for their team score, and George will be disappointed because he's put a lot of training in. To fall on, I think, was it a wake front or something like that, will be a little bit disappointing.
Yeah, so Hugh just has to shake this off actually.
Yeah,
just
it's a little
ignore what
difficult,
George,
isn't it?
yeah.
You got to kind of not watch your twin brother who you spend so much time training with. You look at the webcast thing. We've got Dad Neil there. He's releasing in the boat, and Mum Janine, who's the New Zealand team manager. She's on the docks. It's very much a family affair. Yeah, so Hugh Donaldson, home site Lakehood, coach Kyle Eade. Now his best is a little more than George's. I think it's about 53.50, 5,350. Actually, his jump PB saying here 51.8, but I think he went 54.2 just in the last month. So he's a solid jumper. There's nothing between it. You know, we saw George's slalom PB was 4 at 12. Hughes is 3.5 at 12. So
Yeah, super close.
it's super close. But anyway, we're tricking at the moment. Twins are kind of inseparable sometimes. You know, these two guys are grown up together, do all their skiing together. They go to university together. They're probably flatting together at university.
It's interesting they use different equipment though. Like George was all D3 and
Yeah, and they never used to, and they used to have to go to tournaments, and if one fell off, you'd run the ski back. But the reason that they need to is because, you know, George Donaldson's fallen half a kilometre up the lake here, and you imagine what would be happening now if Hugh didn't have his own ski. So, because it's a world champ, so that's probably pretty fortunate in this situation. They have got separate skis. Either that or one of the Kiwis would be trying to run a 10-second 100-metre dash with the ski. Here we go, Hugh Donaldson. Back to back, like front, toe in 80s. Toe 5 front, and he looks so good, but just falls. It was one of those silly little kind of half asleep fall
just
back
too
kind of fall.
tentative, or he's just still. Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
didn't pull quite enough rope maybe, but he was looking really good.
Man, that's the hardest thing in the world, right? Do you know, to try and strike that balance between being calm and being on edge and keeping alert during your run. Like, looked like he's trying to calm himself too much,
I think with tricks, particularly with the guys, you want to try and be fairly calm, I think. But yeah, he just didn't put not enough wheat bix for breakfast this morning. He didn't quite pull the rope in enough there on the toe 5 front.
And that's a real shame. Especially with such a score as 5.350.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, he can probably salvage maybe 4,500 points if he stands up this next run. But I don't think he's going to get over 5,000. We'll have to wait and see. It's always, I mean, in your hands, if you have a bunch of flips, it is pretty easy to make up points. So hopefully he's going to nail a couple of ski lines and a bunch of flips, and we're going to get a score up over 5,000 points here from Hugh. Conditions are good. You know, they've stayed pretty settled all day today so far. It's you got to say, the breeze, which seems to be. Well, I've been here, I've been in Malaysia maybe 24 hours in my entire life, and I'm about to say that the prevailing wind is blowing right now, but I don't really know. But it looks like ever since I've been here anyway for a day, it's been the same wind. So it's the prevailing wind, the easterly.
Yeah, we've had quite strong winds, so today is pretty good, I think. It's holding so far, so hopefully the wind doesn't get too much stronger.
The other thing I did notice yesterday is it does tend to swing just a little bit towards the south in the evening or the afternoon, which brings in a headwind for the jump, which is great. You know, that's what we want to see. A bit of a head breeze for the jumping. It's not too much jumping today. I think maybe only 4 or 5 jumpers. It's Series 3 of ladies jump.
Yeah, Alia Young's going to be jumping from Malaysia.
Yeah, the Malaysian rock star. We look forward to that. Big crowd will come in. big family, the Youngs. I see they're still expanding.
Yeah.
Dad Hannaford said, and you know, like, you've got another step brother, I think.
Half sister.
Half sister, is it? Sorry.
Yep, 3
I
months
couldn't
old.
tell. I saw the baby in the pram and I
You might come
couldn't
back
tell.
next year and we'll be like 10 of us.
10 of you. Contributing to population growth.
Yeah, not enough
great.
people in the world.
Okay, here we go. Hugh Donaldson. Big moment for him and New Zealand, really. New Zealand team points. Here we go. Wake 5 back. Yeah, he's very cautious after watching his brother fall on that wake front. He seems to be getting it done. Wake 5 front there. Over the rope he goes. Beautiful ski line back. Here we go. Into the flips. So you need 2 or 3 of these to get a big score. The first one, he's lost vital time here as he comes in for the second flip. And just seemed to let go on that one almost. He didn't quite have the handle.
Yeah, I think he kind of rushed it. He just panicked a little bit, rushed a little bit.
Look, it's not a disaster, Philippa. It's going to be a solid score, but if I was picking, I would say high 3s.
You don't think you...
I don't know if he's... Well, yeah, we'll see. Hopefully it's over 4, but we'll wait and see. It's one of those tricks that I think the Wake 5 front, it's going to be... Some tournaments he might get, but he's not going to get it here at the Worlds. I don't think. There was a little bit of surface turning on. What do you? You're a top judge, Philippa. You're saying it's good?
I don't know. It looked pretty good from here.
Okay.
I hope they give it to him.
Yeah,
because,
well, I hope they give him to him too. From a Kiwi, I hope they give him all his tricks.
Yeah.
I hope they find a couple of tricks that he didn't even do, to be honest. But I don't know.
A little bit biased up here.
We're going to have a little break. We're hearing from our support crew here before we go into Series 3 of the men's tricks. Oh, if you're looking on the TV screen and on the webcast, you can see the boat's just pulled up to the dock. Mind you, the skier has his ski on and he's sort of getting in the water. He's keen to go. I think we've got a driver change, so there will be a bit of a break and the driver will have to do a phantom pass. So if you need to put the jug on or whatever you're doing, flip the steak on the barbie wherever you are in the world, you've got a bit of time, because we're just going to have a little break here, I think. 4 or 5 minute break, and then we will have...
So you can see on the dock, that's Marian Malakin from France. He's helping us coach the Malaysian team.
Right. Well, the French certainly know their tricks, don't they? So if you're going to get a coach in...
Yeah, he's been a huge help. Like, we've pretty much had 3 rotating regular judges for all these years for the kids. So Marian's been part of that coaching crew, and we really appreciate all the help he's given to the Malaysian team. So Adam Young up next after this boat path up and down. I know Mom and Dad are going to be watching eagerly on shore. So hopefully he goes well. KLC Games gold medalist from 2017 when it was here in Malaysia.
And he was only, what, 10 at that stage?
Mm-hmm.
10 years of age, he tricked 47.50 to win the SEA Games. Young Adam Young. And it was also an Asian under 17 record, so that's pretty phenomenal. At 10 years of age, he had the Asian under 17 male trick record, 47.50.
Yeah, Alia was scoring about the same at that same age, 4,500, but of course the boys' competition is a lot more intense. So he really needs to up his game if he wants to play with the big dogs when he gets older.
So is he? He's 14 years of age now, is he? How?
Oh, damn.
He's your brother. You should know how
I
old he
know.
is.
I think he's turning 12.
Oh, he's only 12. Okay.
I should know this. Sorry, Adam.
Well, yeah, but you've got so many. You
I know,
like
there's so many of them.
Okay, so just while we've got a bit of break, bit of an update on these towboats, these magnificent Nautic towboats. They are. One is going to Australia, and the other to New Zealand. So the red ones go to New Zealand, the blue ones go to Australia. So there you go, just to update people. So if you're water skiing in Australia, you guys are lucky enough to be getting this blue boat we're tricking behind at the moment. And if you're in New Zealand, it's the red one that's going to the Kiwi land. So there we go.
Yeah, beautiful boats. We're working hard to keep them scratch-free. So hopefully they get down in one piece.
Yeah, well, they better. This one coming to New Zealand better be in pristine condition, Philippa. No, I'm sure it'll be fine.
Adam Young is up next. Adam Young.
Yeah, so we've got Adam Young up next, and then of course his brother Aidan Young, and then we've got Australian Josh Wallant. We go to Peru with Rafael Diosma, then back to Australia with Paddy Crisp. Great Britain's Harry Spavin, then to the Ukraine, and we've got Demir
Filaretov.
Yeah, then Italian Luca Spinelli, and Slovakian Marek Melnik.
Whatever happened to Josh Bryant?
Josh Bryant is still recovering from his knee injury. He's back slaloming and tricking a little bit. He's actually, believe it or not, he's living in San Diego and hanging out with my son Curtis quite a lot. They were going to be living together, but I don't know, something didn't work out or something. They didn't get a big enough house, so they...
What happened to his knee?
Oh, so he had a crash collegiate jump tournament. I think it was Eastern Regionals or Southern Regionals or something like that, collegiate jump tournament, and yeah, he's quite bad in a number of surgeries. I can't remember exactly, it's maybe 6 or 7 different surgeries for Josh. He's
Wow, that's
but
a
he is
bad
back
accident.
tricking and slaloming, and it's great to see. So if Josh is listening, shout out to you, and of course family, Michelle, sister Michelle, Susie and Wayne, if you're watching, shout out to you guys. And we have a score. I think we're still doing phantom passes. We're not going to miss young Adam ski, hopefully. So we've got a scores. Kev comes through for George Donaldson. It's 23:40, so a little disappointing for George. But we have a new leader, and that is to Korea, and it's Seong Min Ju from Korea, 5,020 points. So Korea has overtaken China on the leaderboard. Yeah, because Josh Bryant, I'm going to say bronze medalist in overall at the last Worlds in Paris, and either silver or bronze in trick event in the men's last year. So, you know, it's a shame we won't see him here at these Worlds. But it's a high impact sport, and unfortunately Josh had a bit of a high impact with the side of the jump ramp, and he's but forging a career now. He's got a career in something to do with the finance industry in San Diego, in Southern California, in San Diego, and it's good to see. I'm sure he'll do well in that. He's actually going back to school a little bit though this year. He's going to do his master's degree at one of the San Diego universities. So they actually ski at the San Diego Waterski Club, I guess it is, in Mission Bay on the salt water, not quite close to SeaWorld if anyone's ever been to San Diego. It's salt water and maybe not the world's greatest ski site, but at least it's right there in the middle of the city, you know. And Curtis, my son Curtis, and Josh Bryant, and the San Diego State waterski team will train down there, and there's quite an active waterski club there at San Diego.
Everyone trying to keep out of the sun, hiding in the shade.
Yeah,
over
we're
there.
lucky, Philippa. We're sitting under an air conditioning unit here, and we look across to our guys running the webcast, and they don't have the air conditioning
I
unit. They look hot and flustered. But we're sitting here, and it's kind of just a pleasant, probably 22 degrees or something. Whereas you look at the people outside, and as the temperature gets up around 33 or 34 degrees Celsius, and it probably feels closer to 38 or 40, I guess, with the humidity. And it certainly looks fairly warm out there.
Interestingly, though, you don't really burn when there's humidity. Someone was
I'll
telling
tell
me.
you, I burn in anything. I can burn when it's raining.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've got my ancestors, I think, were down a coal mine in Wales or something a couple hundred years ago, and that's where I'm meant to be because I can get sunburnt when it's raining. But yeah, you're right. Normally you don't get burnt too much in this sort of conditions. So there we go. So we've just had word that the next two competitors, Adam and Aidan Young, use the same skis. So if they will take the ski back if they fall. I hope they don't fall early. But I just did a big speech earlier about the Donaldsons having to buy an extra ski because at a World Championships the boat won't go back, but they are here. So it's great to see.
Yeah, they've been sharing equipment for a while now.
Well, that is the beauty of having multiple children in a family skiing. You can save a little bit by sharing equipment or hand-me-down skis.
Yeah, it's lucky they're all right foot forward. I mean, I think Aidan was supposed to be left foot forward, but he was just
made
forced to be.
right hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd do that too. If I was a ski dad with how many kids has Hannah forgot now? He's 8, 9.
Oh, yeah.
You don't even know how old they are. And
11, 12.
you're one of them.
Not
so,
sure.
Yeah. So you'd make sure they were all right foot forward.
Adam.
Yeah. Adam Young now. He's going to start rope on toe.
Yeah.
Home sight.
He's a little bit blind, this guy. That's why he needs those special glasses. Let's see what he can do.
Toe 720 to start by the look of it. He's wrapped up for the toe 7. It'll be the first toe 7 we've seen at these world titles. Representing Malaysia, of course, this magnificent water skiing family, the Young family. Powerhouse of Asian water skiing. This is pretty good stuff. This is great. Both toe weight back-to-backs, toe 5 front, toe 360. Oh, that's disappointing because there's really no reason to fall there. He was on fire. Look, it's at the end of his run.
Oh,
so
my
he'll lose a few points, but one of those ones, Philippa, where he really didn't need to fall on that. He was looking pretty solid. It was a bit unfortunate.
No, maybe just rushed a little bit. He'll be quite disappointed with that because his toe step has been looking really nice lately, and I know he would have wanted to get that in.
It happens out of Worlds. I mean, I think my daughter Courtney is watching at home there in New Zealand, probably meant to be at school doing studying, but we at Junior Worlds last year in Spain, toe tricking. She's a pretty good toe tricker, I think she is anyway, and she fell on a toe slide before she went into a toe wrap, and it's like what the heck, daughter, and you come back as a release person and you want to kind of beat them a bit, but you can't because it's No, I'm joking, because you're on webcast or whatever. But yeah, it's funny. I think, you know, obviously you add the pressure of the nerves of a Worlds, and falling on a trick that, like you say, that normally he'd get, and he had the toe lines to come. So he's got the hand right. What are we going to see here? We've got a couple of flips going on there for young Adam.
He'll be happy to get to his step over.
Okay.
I don't think he has a flip yet. No,
Okay.
Aiden has a flip though, so his flip was looking pretty good yesterday in practice.
So Adam's the younger one?
Yep, he's
Yep.
younger, yeah. Oh, and he hasn't filled out his profile. Anyway. He just has to shake it off now. He's looking pretty disappointed in the boat, but shake
You
it
feel
off.
for him, don't you, youngster?
Yeah. It was a really good toe run though, up until that point.
Yeah, he looked good. Sometimes you see with the younger skiers that the toes actually are their high scoring run, because they haven't quite got the strength yet to do all the flips or the ski lines and that. So
Yeah, and seriously, these trick skiers make it look so easy.
yeah,
Like
it's not.
I've been on the trick ski, and just trying to keep that toe line in with your foot, it's just massive. They're so strong, all these
Some of
guys.
us now have trouble getting the foot in the toe piece. to be
Yeah.
fair.
That's true.
I'm sure you don't, but I certainly do. A little bit of coaching going on here, just trying to calm his nerves, I think, from the Malaysian team coach there in the trick event. And here we go, young fella's in the water. You know, how many times has he done this, jumped in the water for a trick set here at Putrajaya behind a Nautique on this very lake, and now he's getting to do it at a World Championship, so it's a big moment for him. A lot of hard work has come in from the Young family to get this World Champs underway.
Yep, sure has been a hard slog, but we're really happy with how it's turned out, so keeping our fingers crossed for the rest of the week. Of course, with the support of the Putrajaya city.
Well, we got a trick score just comes through here for Hugh Donaldson, and I said he might struggle to get to 4,000. Well, he's 22,810. Geez, I'll tell you what, the Team New Zealand will be looking at that trick sheet, because that's less than I thought. 2,810 from Hugh Donaldson. Here we go. Wake line 5 front. Don't see that trick as much as we used to. It's still very high scoring now, of course.
It's a nice starter.
This is tidy stuff from the young man, young Adam Young. Hometown hero. Oh, beautiful wake 5 front, but he dropped the handle.
His fives have been looking so good. He's going to be so pissed off with that, just missing the handle coming around. Such a shame.
Yeah, that is disappointing. He's had plenty of height, you know, he's making sure the judges were going to give him full credit on that, but unfortunately he had the height but not the handle. You see the boat's going back, he's just going to pick up his equipment for older brother Aiden. Might give him a ride home just because we're nice people like that. Yeah, well, he's not, I mean, he's a little disappointed, but he's not distraught, which is good to see. Oh, maybe he is a little bit, but
Looked really good up till then.
no, it was great. Really
yeah, like
clean.
you said, maybe a bit too much height.
There's one thing I'll say, you know, your brothers and sisters are very clean trickers, you know, they always credit. You wouldn't see too much scrubbing of their tricks. There are plenty of height on the wake tricks and good rotation and without pause on the toe tricks. So disappointed young man, but he's got a huge future ahead of him in the sport of water skiing. He's back to the dock, and we'll have his older brother Aiden Young. You'll start rope on toe as well. Beautiful day here in Putrajaya at the 2019 World Waterski Championships. Of course, Nautique Towboats, one of our major sponsors. A good look at the blue boat, which we hear is heading to Australia at the end of these World Champs. Not sure whether it's pre-sold or whether the dealers down there, Ski Force, are going to put it up for sale. I mean, you never know, it could actually be one of the Moomba boats yet. There's a couple of Nautiques always head into Australia for Moomba Masters. Not quite sure, but anyway, it's where it's headed. Sensational towboat. And here is young Aidan Young.
Now he's quite an interesting skier because he does have the capacity for brilliance. So let's see what he can do.
Typical of, I guess, a 13-year-old, or roughly 13-year-old boy is that they can be a little bit inconsistent sometimes. Beautiful toe 7 to start. Oh no! Toe wake back to back, which is not a hard trick for these guys. Big slap of the water for the young guy. Oh, that's devastation. We don't want to see that. And Philippa, that really, because you know that toe wake back to back is probably one of the easier toe tricks in his run.
Yeah, that's devastating.
Really is.
Well, hopefully he'll get a good hand run. Seem to be dropping like flies this time.
Yeah, well, we saw it earlier on this morning with the slalom at Series 3 of Women's Slalom. There was a few upsets, and the tricking has not been superb really, but we have had some good scores. Zeong Min Ju from Korea is currently with 5,020. Chinese competitor Zhongji Zhong with 42.60. Japanese competitor Ryoto Funo 39.30. That's our top three. We then go to Indonesia with Dimas Rido Safrono, who has 35.10. Hugh Donaldson, the Kiwi, 28.10. That's a little disappointing for him. Yuichi Yamamoto from Japan, 24.50. George Donaldson, 23.40. Teiho Chung, 21.60. Freak School, 15.20. We still do not have a score from these young fellas, the Youngs, of course.
Interesting to note the site record is set by Zarnasek.
Yeah, Alexei Zarnasek, 11,470. That was at the 2009 World Cup stop. So yeah, I mean, you see, trick and jump scores I think here are going to be super high. No reason why they won't be. Maybe slalom scores might be back just a little bit, but from other sites around the world. But it's, you know, still see some high class athletes. This is only series, I say only, but we're in series 3 of tricks, so we still have series 1 and 2 to come on Thursday. So there's plenty of top skiing to come. Devastated for this young guy though, Aidan Young. Falling on the toe wake back to back, which is a tough trick for a youngster, but you'd expect he would normally get that most days of the week.
Oh man, normally it's 100%. I don't know what happened.
Your heart goes out to the Young family. His mum and dad have put so much time, and the entire family actually, into these world champs. He looks happy though, youngster, bit of a thumbs up. He's got to try and brush it off now, shake it off, and front up here and come up with a good hand pass.
It'd be excellent if he got his backflip, for sure.
Yep, so Aidan Young. So if you've just joined us on webcast, you're watching 2019 World Waterski Championships Elimination Round. This is Series 3 of men's tricks. We've just started actually. We've had Adam Young, youngster. We've got his slightly older brother Aidan Young now. Fortunately with a bit of an early fall on his toes. Wraps up. Looks like he'll be starting with a wake line 5 front if I was to pick it. No, wake line O actually backs off a little bit. Wake back-to-backs, solid stuff. Wow, beautiful wake 5 front. Reverse coming up. Oh, sensational tricking. Wake O, we're into the flips. Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Line back, line front. Side slide, that's it, folks. But that's a great run. Put your
Well
hands
done,
together.
Aiden.
Really tidy tricking, you know. Those wake 5 fronts are not easy, but she's...
Is that
you'd be
the
a pretty
first stand-up run we've seen?
Yeah, possibly. Maybe Rota Funo did as well, but it's a great run. It's just such a shame about his toe pass. It's the one event we've got in water skiing where you know, because if you fall in slalom, you're done. Jump, you get 3 jumps, but tricking's so tough because if you fall early on your first pass, it's like no matter how good you go on your second pass, the score's just not going to be where you want it to be. So there's, you know, and mentally tough, but he'll be happy at least to have stood up that great hand pass. Josh Wallen, one of the working class heroes of world water skiing. This guy from South Australia, sensational jump skier. You know, he's got PB well up over 60 metres. Australia's #1 male jumper at the moment, I'm going to say.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'd be correct on that. And a country, of course, with a proud history in men's jump.
Oh, tournament PB of 62.3
Yeah.
meters.
Solid 3 event skier, 1.5 at 11 metres. Tricks 64.30 and jump 62.3. So, you know, he's in the Aussie team, obviously, for his jump score for sure, but also his trick score. If he can stand up his tricks, he's got a great chance. His Australian team, of course, really, you know, this is kind of in their neck of the woods, the Malaysian Worlds. You know, Australia not too far away, really. These guys have been training in Darwin, which is Northern Territory of Australia, which I'm thinking is probably only about a 3 or 4 hour flight to here. You know, so they and they've been trained. Of course, this year they've got Ryan Green back coaching, and Grant Barnett's the team manager. So they've brought all the Brock stars back to make sure they go well in individual stakes, but also in the team's event, the Aussies. Unfortunately, they lost Archie Davis, one of their better 3 event skiers at the moment. And maybe I said earlier that Josh Wallen was Australia's #1 men's jumper. Maybe Archie Davis is, I don't know, it's pretty close. But Archie will be watching at home on the webcast. And here's Josh Wallen, and it looked like he was going to fall halfway through what I was saying there. You would have noticed from my voice, that is about the 3rd or 4th fall like that, isn't it?
That's just insane. It's crazy.
Back on the heels, you know, they're just back on the heels.
And really tentative over the wakes, right? I don't think they would have given him his wake tricks.
Oh yeah, I wasn't going to say that, but maybe. Yeah, you're right. The judging is, and it should be. It's very high standard here at the World Championships. So he'll be a little bit disappointed, Josh Wallen, with that toe pass. He's a much better hand tricker though than he is a toe tricker. Filipari, very good flipper, so he'll look to get most of his points, I'm sure, out of his hand run.
Yeah, that's a real shame.
These guys ski in, he's from Clare in South Australia, which is not far from Adelaide. In fact, he's living in Adelaide now, I believe. They ski at, there's a river, is it the Bedrock Waterski Club from memory?
Yep.
Yeah, which is a river, look at my Australian geography is not great. For all I know, it could be the Murray River, but it probably isn't. And it's a great ski site though, produced some great, because the great Simon Hill, the Snag, he's probably watching a webcast, one of the greatest slalom skiers the world's ever seen. He was from that club, and that's the site where you launch your boat, but it's I'm guessing maybe a 5 kilometre boat trip to get to the site, and the only other way is to climb down the cliff bank down to the site. And I think they've got some stairs and that sort of thing. I've never been there, but it looks like a great site, very sheltered there in South Australia. Actually, South Australia, Adelaide, are possibly putting a bid in for the next World Championships.
Oh, nice.
So I don't know yet, long way to go, but in 2 years' time, possibly we could be in Adelaide for the World Champs. We don't know yet, but And that might have been confidential. I don't know, so I probably shouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
But I got a feeling that.
It's out now.
Yeah, but obviously there'll be plenty of countries bidding. But I got a feeling that Adelaide may be bidding for those world champs.
We'll find out at the Congress, right, on Thursday when they all meet.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you'd hope that if we've got a world champs tied up. We don't always, of course, have it sorted, but we should hopefully. Yeah, so Josh Wallant, as I said, solid 3-event skier. Great family. I haven't seen his notice whether his parents are here yet. I hope to catch up with them. They're great people to have on tour, the Wallant family. So I got a feeling this trick run will be all about his flips, but I could be wrong, but we'll wait and see. He'll start off with a couple of basic tricks just to warm up, just to get the blood flowing, and then we should see some flips fairly shortly. Yeah, geez, the old Wake 180's getting a fair crack at it out there, aren't they? And here we go into the flips. First one is good. Reverse is also good. Has he got a back landing coming up? He does. Reverse back landing. He'll be racing the clock here. 20 seconds will be coming up, but he's piled on the points. Great fall there on the reverse side slide. It's a great way to fall, but that wasn't a bad run. Hopefully he's okay. I'm sure he is.
That was a great run.
As long as that reverse back landing flips in time, it'll be a really good score.
And the flips were super clean. Really nice.
Yeah, as I said, though, I had a feeling the whole run would be about those flips because there was a whole bunch of what I'd call low-scoring wake tricks at the start just to get a few extra points, and then into the flips we went.
Interesting he waited so long for that first trick, though. That positional back, but he was after the white boy, so I don't know if he lost a bit of time for that one.
Yeah, I did notice that. That's a point. Geez, with Ryan Green in the boat, I'm sure that
That's true,
they'd know what's happening.
That's true, yep. So much experience with Ryan Green.
Because this neck of the woods, Philippa, we understand, like that you've got the European Championships are huge, Pan Ams are huge, but for many years Oceania and Asia were in together, so Australia, New Zealand and Asia were in together with their regional championships. And of course Ryan Green, who's the training team coach, he's a bit of a hero, of course, of AO, the AO region, many-time champion.
I heard he actually retired. I was quite surprised to see him here.
Yeah, he retired from skiing, and then he went and got a real job, and I don't think he liked that much because he ended up going back coaching, which is great to see. It's great for the sport. I think the boat's not got a skier. I think it's doing a phantom pass as it goes past.
Phantom pass, yeah. You can see Rafa on the dock there.
Yeah. Yeah, so our next competitor will be Rafael de Osma. He's from Peru, obviously. He's waiting because the boat is doing a bit of a phantom pass. He's from Lima in Peru, and of course Peru hosted the Pan Ams. It was only a couple of weeks ago, really, wasn't it? Goes to Rollins College.
Oh, just 21 years old.
Yeah, just a youngster.
Him and his sister have been here for the past week or so, training, and lovely family.
Just had a text from Jared Ferraro, who's reckons you and I look pretty good on the webcast. I think he was talking about you, to be honest, but he's of course one of the main commentators for Moomba Masters.
Oh, we're missing Jared.
Yeah, it actually would be helpful if you're here, mate.
Yeah, come on, Jared.
Your invite must have got lost in the junk mail. Maybe it went into your junk mail.
Down. Come on.
Yeah, jump on a plane, Jared. But it's great to see he's watching. Yeah, I think fair to say Philippa's got a better face for TV than I do, so it's great having you in commentary here, Philippa.
Oh, thanks, man. Oh. So it says here Rafa's PB is 69.80. It's a nice high score.
Yeah, he's a good 3-event skier. He's developing nicely. I don't know how, you know, because the Peruvians have Jimmy Seamers as their team coach, and he would have worked a lot with Rafael, but Rafael actually isn't in Peru all that often, I don't think, because he's in Florida. He goes to school at Rollins, so I guess he probably goes home for his holidays or whatever and coached by Jimmy. But so Jimmy Seamers would have spent a bit of time with him, but he also gets to ski at Rollins with the likes of Dorian Llewellyn, used to be Josh Bryant. So yeah, he's Rollins has got a lot of great trick skiers attending. So we watch that Nautique make its way down for another one of its many phantom passes.
I've got a score for the Malaysian skiers. Adam Young 33.20 and Aiden Young at 28.40, currently sitting at 5th and 6th. So quite far off their personal best, but they gave it a good shot anyway.
Yeah, because Jimmy Seamers, we mentioned, give him a bit of a shout out. He's release person for Rafael, Peruvian team coach. He's
Jimmy was here.
yeah,
he set
he at one stage had the course record here, 10,710 points. Was eclipsed a year later by Alexei Janacek, but at one stage Jimmy Seamers had the course record here at Putrajaya. Now he is, I'm pretty sure of this fact, he is the only skier in the world to have tripped over 12,000 points and jumped over 70 meters. So, you know, former world record holder in jump and overall. So an unbelievably talented athlete, Jimmy Seamers.
Why on earth did he stop?
Oh, he still, well, I mean, he skied over 35 worlds in Chile and won some medals. Can't remember, he might have even won gold, I think, in over 35 men's jump. I'm trying to remember, but so he's got the creds, but yeah, I guess the body got battered around a bit. Here he is, Rafael Diosma now from Peru. I'm sure there's a few Peruvians watching on the webcast, and also some of his classmates in Rollins College in Central Florida, as he starts with the flips. First ski, front flip, sensational. He's piling the points on here. Wow, this is sensational stuff from Rafael Diosma. What's he got left? 6 flips in total. He's getting the maximum out of the flip ski line. Sensational stuff. Over the rope it goes. Just fell there. Fell on that front, maybe. The judges might call it, say that he gets a ski line. I don't know. Probably not. But that's judges' call. That's a good solid hand run, though, from Rafael.
Really nice to watch. Just got into trouble for that last trick, huh?
He certainly did. But that's good trick skiing. Good shot, I'd say, of taking the lead in this event. If he can stand up fairway down his toe run. Really starting to get into some very good trick skiers now. Rafael Diosma out on the water now. We've got Aussie Patrick Crisp up next, followed by Harry Spavin, Demir Flaratov, Luca Spinelli of Italy, and Marek Melnik from Slovakia. Let's talk a little bit about, because you're one of the organisers, of course, of this event, opening ceremony tonight. Philippa?
Oh yeah,
what's
opening
up?
ceremony. Everybody has to get ready and by the grandstands by 5 p.m. in full gear. Hopefully everyone submitted all their flags to the Secretariat. There'll be a short march and some oaths and some speeches. So please don't be late. Come down to the grandstand by 5 p.m.
I look forward to it.
Yeah, he looks a little bit disappointed, eh? But I thought that was a pretty good run.
Well, I think he really probably only missed that. It must have been getting close to 20 seconds. He's missed that flip, depending on how the judges see it. Technically, he didn't actually fall on the flip. He fell on a front. It's just, I mean, it's a judge's call sometimes whether he fell as a result of the flip or not. But it's not going to be a bad score, I don't think. He can certainly back it up with a plus 6,000 point run if he can stand up these toes. This is pretty big for Korea. I think it's early days yet, but we've had 11 skiers now with scores come through, and the Koreans are still leading the men's tricks at the World Champs, so well done to them. Koreans are normally probably better known for jumping than the slalom and the tricks, but this is a good effort here. 5,020 points for Jeong Min Chu from Korea.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see who is his coach actually for tricks. I don't think it's Jimmy.
You don't reckon it's Jimmy? Could be Kai Lead, Koreans spend a lot of time with Kai Lead, so he's a Kiwi, so we'll give him the plug at the moment for the trick coaching.
That's true, good old Kiwi.
Okay, rope on toe here, Rafael de Osma. This is interesting, he's not actually wrapping up for anything here. Quite sure what the plan is. No, he's wrapping up, he's just leaving it fairly late because it's gone past the white buoy already. Okay, toe fight back to start. Oh, those are quick, those toe back-to-backs, mind you. Almost falls, loses a bit of time. Toe wake 360. Can he get over the rope? He does. Toe wake line back. Couple of toe slides to finish. Toe 180s. Yeah, solid stuff. Really solid.
Nice.
I'm
Super nice.
going to pick, we've got a new leader. I think that'll be more than 5,020. So I think Peru may take the lead off Korea in this men's tricks. Good tricking from Rafael de Osma. To me, it looked around sort of 5,500 points if I had to pick the two runs added together.
I'm not going to argue. I totally agree with you. I think he's our new leader. Let's wait for the judge's decision.
So Patrick Crisp will be the next competitor from Australia. See, look down at the dock there, the great Ryan Green. He's jumping in with the spare trick ski and the rope. Patrick Crisp is he's a good 3-event skier, but if you look at the height of him, I don't think I'm wrong in saying that his best event is tricks, but he looks like a slalom skier, doesn't he? He's still a great slalom skier, deep, sort of deep down 11, maybe onto 10.75 in slalom from memory. Yeah, 4 at 11 is his best, but he's a plus 7,000 point tricker, and he's, I don't know, what's he got to be? What are we saying, Philippa? 6'2", he's pretty tall.
He's pretty tall, I gotta say.
So that's a pretty decent effort on a trick ski.
Just 22 years old.
6'3".
6'3", oh my goodness.
So yeah, if you met him on the side of the lake, you'd be thinking slalom specialist. And he does slalom pretty well with 4 at 11, but his tricks is his #1 event.
Wow, that's pretty awesome, man. To be so tall and do such tricks like that.
Absolutely.
Let's have a
So
look.
I'm not an Australian team selector, but I reckon that when the selectors wrote down Patrick Crisp's name, they were thinking tricks. I mean, they would have looked at his slalom and jump as backup scores, but I think this trick run will be important for Australia. Yep, toe fight back and toe back-to-backs, toe wake back-to-back. Reverse toe wake back-to-back. He seems to be toe tricking kind of slow here, but he's making sure of it, not wanting to fall. Toe wake 360, toe wake line back, and he's gone.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah.
Did he just trip on the rope or something?
I don't know. So the angle we had, probably the same as you had on the webcast, was from the shore, and Ryan Green released him, didn't think he looked something, he must have been caught on the rope or something, because he actually, to me, seemed to be still up on top of the water there. Look, it's still solid, you know, he got most of the way through that pass. It'll be interesting to see the angle from the boat. I don't know that we will. Exactly what happened there. I'm sure as the week goes on we'll have replays, slow motion replays. It's just day one, of course, with the webcast.
Yeah, that's true. Be good to see what the judges see.
Yeah, so we'll get replays tomorrow. Thanks, the webcast guys. They're doing a great job. We've got, you know, we've got a cast of thousands here, haven't we, with the cameramen and stuff. But you know, Tom Gray, of course, for World Waterskiers, he's doing a great job here running the webcast. Well, Chris' body language is not great here. He's pretty disappointed by the look of it. You got a long way down there though. But the thing with tricks, I guess, is you want to stand up every single trick for both 20-second runs. Grown up in Australia, of course, but his dad is actually grew up in Ireland, and that's where you get the name Patrick Crisp, I suppose, very Irish name. And did a bit of skiing with Desbert Kennedy, of course, in Ireland. Patrick's father, yeah. So.
Oh, the famous Desbert Kennedy. He's here, isn't he?
He's here, yeah. He's on site.
Yeah, we might get him up in the webcast, do you think?
I'm sure. Well, you're doing it pretty good. I was going to get him up here, Philippa, but I think you're doing such a good job that I think you're taking over. You're the new DBK.
I don't know.
No, we'll get Des up at some stage. He's pretty busy, actually. He's running the Hall of Fame dinner, of course.
Yep.
And organising that.
Yep, that's on the Friday, right? Hall of Fame?
Yep. I think it is. He's busy doing that.
Interesting handle he has there.
Yeah, he's obviously trying to avoid putting the guard there, to avoid putting his hand through the handle.
Or the head, right?
Or the head, that's correct.
Has that happened recently?
It happened. I actually saw it happen to Kylie many years ago, and it was pretty nasty. It broke his jaw, but yeah, it does happen all the time.
Yeah,
We've got a
that's
New Zealand
awful.
skier as well, Aidan Willers, who a few years ago put his arm through and damaged his arm. So yeah, a lot of them do front up with a guard. Was it Rob Hazelwood? Rob Hazelwood's carrying, and he's back skiing now, but he hurt himself as well. Broke the under-21 European slalom record, or British slalom record, one day, and the next day put his arm through there, so and damaged himself. So. Yeah, well, we won't want to talk about injuries too much, so we'll get back on the water. Here's Patrick Crisp.
He's waiting a long time too, after the white boy.
What are we going to do here? Start with a back-to-front flip, I think. Or back-to-back flip.
Back.
Sensational.
Oh, my goodness.
Almost a bubble, though. Jeez, he's just scrapping his way through, but he's not falling, and good on him. And come on, Patrick Crisp, come on, Australia. He's piling on the points here now. Ski line, falls. Wow.
Just eating the front edge of his ski.
Look, it's not a disaster of a trick score for Patrick, but it's not what he was looking for.
No, it's pretty good, man. Well done, Patrick.
Interesting, though, you say that the two Australian skiers have started quite late after that white boy. I think that's the knowledge, the expertise of Ryan Green in the boat. I think the message has just gone out to start a little bit later. I think probably if you wait a little bit longer, you get into slightly calmer water, which has been broken up by the wind break that has been put out there. I might not be right. I'm quite often wrong. I'm wrong more often than not. But I think that might be the Australian team tactics. Just start a little bit later at that end.
Yeah, and for sure they have a good, strong management, right? Ryan Green and Grant Barnett. Lots of experience between the two of them.
Ryan Green and Grant Barnett are two of the smartest Australians to ever be Australian, really. They know the sport really well.
Yep.
We've got England now. We've got Harry Spavin, part of a very strong English team.
Really young too, 21 years old.
Yeah, 21 years of age. He's currently going to school in Louisiana at Lafayette, from Lincolnshire. And I think Lincolnshire is the home of Hazelwood Waterski Lakes, of course, which is a famous Hazelwood family, and that's also the home town where they have the old Stokes Pro-Am, I think it's called. You know, the professional jump tournament there every year. So certainly, I think if you're going to water ski in England, he's probably grew up in the right place.
PB of 77.90.
77.90. So you know, a good skier. Won at 10.75, 7.790 in tricks and 61.3 meters. Toe wake 360. Toe wake line O. Great trick. Plenty of spray in the face there. He's recovered well though. That's a solid toe pass for a big man. Jeez, I tell you what, we were talking with the president of Putrajaya just before. He said he was a bit of a rugby player. Well, looking at Harry Spavin, mate, he looks like a bit of a rugby player out there on water skis, doesn't he?
He does.
Solid looking guy, strong.
1.8 meters tall too.
Yeah, he's solid, strong guy, and you know, good toe tricking there. If he can trick 7.790 though with that toe run, that tells me he's very solid hand tricker, very solid flipper. So we'll look forward to that.
And really high scores in slalom and jump too. 61.3 meters and one at 10.75.
That's right. So we've got a score through for Josh Wallen, which is 45.20. That puts him in second spot.
Korea still leading.
Yeah, wow.
Go Korea.
We haven't had Rafael de Osma score through yet, though. I got a feeling he may have taken the lead. But yeah, you're right. 12 trickers gone. Scores up for 12 trickers, and Korea leads this men's tricker result. This is magnificent for the water ski program in Korea. The the coaches and everybody.
Oh, there you go. Hazelwood skis at Hazelwood.
Yeah, like he goes to school at Lafayette in Louisiana, which is one of the top 2 or 3 colleges in the US collegiate scene. So he'd do a lot of his skiing. He probably spends 8 months of the year there in Louisiana. They ski a lot at Bennett Ski School. I believe I see Jay Bennett on site here. I think he's involved with coaching or managing the US team here at these World Championships. So
Oh, there was a really good Bennett skier, right?
absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
What happened to her, the daughter?
Danielle Bennett. Oh, she skied. Actually, I think she skied the last World Champs in Paris. So if my memory serves me right, she's still skiing pretty well.
Nice. Let's see where he starts here. You see the white boy?
We can't at the moment. He's wrapping up here. He's going to start with a wake 5 back or something. Beautiful. Good start over the rope. He goes right into his work. Good ski lines. And here we go, the flips. Got a feeling he'll do 6 flips here because he's pretty solid sort of a guy. And back landing. We've got the back to front. Oh, front flip is good. Oh, beautiful 360 at the end. And that's a solid run, a little fist pump. That's a lot of points there.
Yeah.
Plus 6,000, I would say.
Yeah, well done
Points.
to Harry.
Getting up
Those
towards 7.
lines were amazingly tight. He just got over that rope really quick.
Yeah, he does. He, well, built like he is, he's probably good at keeping a nice tight line, you would think. But that's solid trick skiing. You know, Great Britain skiing, you know, it's really on a high at the moment. They won the under-21 team's title. They've got Joel Poland, who's an absolute superstar, of course. Freddie Winther will be here defending his men's slalom title. Will Asher, of course. Rob Hazelwood. We saw Eleanor Benjamin, I think it was, earlier on in the ladies' slalom. It really is on a high at the moment. British water skiing. So we go to the Ukraine next. got Damir Valeratov. And do we have a trick PB for him? I don't think we do we? But 74.60. I was going to say he's an 8,000 point tricker, or 8,000 plus point tricker, but his PB's 7,460, so it's not quite as good. But he's only young, isn't he, Damir?
Looks really young. Don't know his age at the moment.
We have a new leader though in the men's tricks. It's Rafael Diosmo. He's tricked 69.50, so 6,950. So that puts him in the lead. So Korea, who were leading this event for quite some time, have now slipped into second with Xiong Min Ju with 5,020. Okay, here we go. This will be exciting. This youngster. Love the jewelry. He's got a bit of bling on out there at the moment. The young Ukrainian Damir Valeratov. Over the rope he goes.
Oh, super height.
First flip is good. Well, on the back of the ski, loses a bit of time there between flips, but he's just going to try and get another flip in. I think he does. Back landing. Oh, geez, how did he not fall there? And lost his way a little bit, but could have been worse. He could have
been worse, yeah.
Could have been worse, and he managed to get out of it, get out of jail a little bit there, did Damir Valeratov.
So for those of you at home, there's an unofficial timer on the top left-hand corner of your screen. It's an unofficial timer.
Yeah, it is unofficial. It is webcast timing, not official judging timing, but it does give it's helpful because it does give us a bit of an idea of what the last trick may have been.
After Damir, we've just got 2 more skiers, and then we go into women's jump. Not sure what time we're starting with that one, but we have Malaysia's Alia Jung in that series. Japan, Malaysia, Australia, and Ukraine coming up for women's jump.
Yeah, no, there definitely will be a break between tricks and jump because we've got lots of time. It's actually still not even 12 o'clock yet here. It's 10 to 12 in Malaysia, so we've a bit of a quiet day today on the World's Champs, and we'll get busier as the week goes on. We're in a sort of a tropical climate, aren't we? A lot like a lot of the skiing world resides in Florida. The typical, it's sort of similar weather to Florida, I would say, and we do have the potential to lose a bit of time in the afternoons for thunderstorms, for storms, so it is good that we've got a little bit of extra time up our sleeve.
It's actually looking a little bit overcast now that you say that. Might see some rain today.
This Ukrainian water ski program is amazing at the moment. You know, they went to the under-17 World's Champs last year with just 4 skiers in their team, almost won the team's title. They, of course, took out the under-17 boys jump title, amongst others. And of course, we've got Danilio Flachenko at the moment, who's jumped and made the LCQ Jack Travis's before the US Masters. I think he jumped 68 odd meters. It was huge. You know, their program in the Ukraine, of course, they start off skiing in swimming pools because it's a completely different climate to Malaysia, that's for sure. It's freezing cold in the winter, and magnificent program at the moment in the Ukraine in water skiing. And this youngster's obviously staking his claim in the future of world water skiing. Starts with the toe 5 back. Beautiful toe wake. Looks completely away from the boat doing some of those tricks, which is one of the ways of doing it. It works. Oh, jeez.
Oh my gosh, he
That's
looks
like,
so
look at him,
good
he looks
just
at the
now.
boat and he's gesturing. He doesn't know what's happened there. He slaps the water. Disappointing stuff. That is about the 5th skier we've seen fall on that trick though. The old toe 5 front just falling back a little bit there as they come on the heels. Disappointing stuff for the young Ukrainian. Trick score 3 for Patrick Crisp. Now, a little disappointing. It's okay. He's gotten 2nd spot, but 57.20. Patrick Crisp, he would have been hoping to be up around that 7,000 point. That is his best, but puts him in 2nd at the moment, Patrick Crisp, 5.720.
Luca Spinelli is up next from Italy. His girlfriend Chiara has been helping us in the secretariat, so loads of thanks to Chiara. I think she's somewhere down by the media center now, or she'll be watching Luca, of course.
Yeah, a fairly well-known Waterski family out of Italy, the Spinellis. He's a excellent three-event skier, of course. Probably Trick is maybe the weaker of his three events. He can slalom halfway down 10.25 metre line, jumps close to 65 metres. Trick's 7,310, so very good skier in three events, and solid skier for the Italian team as well. So Italy will be watching on, 28 years of age. Italy will be looking for a solid Trick score here to get him good team points for Italy. Here we go. He's going to start with a flip as well. Back to back. Oh, he's bailed out of a flip there, Philippa. He's decided to miss one out, which is going to cost him some points. But he's back on track now. Front flip. What a beauty. Over the rope he goes. He's racing the clock now. Remember, he lost some time earlier on. Well, throwing a few basics in at the end. Be interested to see if that last ski line trick was in time. But solid from Luca, but he'll be a little disappointed. I think he missed a couple of tricks earlier on.
Yeah, just a few bobbles, right? But I think it was a pretty good decision to just go on to the next trick. Just miss that one. Just get straight back into it, which shows quite a lot of...
Yeah, the risk was great. Well, if he had fallen on that second flip because he wasn't right, it's a disaster. It was only one trick that scored, but as it turned out, he went through pretty much all of his run in the end. And we get another score through now. The judges are firing scores at us. Harry Spavin, he moves into second spot with 5,760. So we'll run through those scores. Leading at the moment, Rafael Diosma from Peru, 6,950. Harry Spavin of Great Britain, 5,760. Patrick Crisp of Australia, 5,720. Karen Xiong Min Chu with 5,020. Joshy Wallant out of Australia, 4520. Jinji Zhong of China, 4260. Seventh spot, we've got Ryoto Funo of 3930. That's our top 7 at the moment. Still leading Rafael Diosma of Peru.
You see his releaser is Elisabetta in the boat there. She's been a scorer at the last Junior Worlds.
David, can you find out for us what time they're going to start jump? Thanks. So Lucas Spinelli, we got the live shots from the back of that magnificent Nautique towboat. He's got his tow past the calm, changes skis, changes ropes. See, it looks a little choppy up at that end of the lake, but when they get onto the actual trick course, it smooths out. They've got the wave and wind break course down the side of the slalom and trick course. It's wrapped up nice and early. Okay, so he's gone past the start buoy already. There we go. See, he just delays the start a little bit, which I think is the tactic, to get the smoother water, which of course is allowed. Oh, geez, he almost goes down on a towing back to back, but he doesn't, thankfully. He's looking a bit slow and circumspect out there at the moment. He needs to start moving, but geez, he doesn't want to fall off. Bit agricultural at the moment from this Italian superstar. It's almost like he's forgotten his run now as he goes toe line back. Toe line back to back is good, so some high scoring stuff at the end. But I think he's stood up, but he's probably going to be a little disappointed there, Philippa. It just didn't seem to flow out there for him.
Yeah, he just missed a few tricks and then he just got into a bit of a bubble and just seemed to get all confused, didn't he? But
once you lose your rhythm, you know, because you practice that one trick run for hour after hour, and then once you lose your rhythm, you're like, what am I going to do now? And you kind of pause. It's still a good score. I mean, it'll still be over 6,000, I'm sure. 6,000 points, but probably won't take the lead. I think Peru will hang on to the lead with Rafael de Osma with a 69.50 at the moment. Last competitor now in this men's trick. So the last trick, if you're a trick fan around the world, you need to be watching this because it's the last tricker of the day. And it's Slovakian competitor Marek Melnik. Okay, just had word from our chief judge that we're going to start jump at 1 p.m. So that's about an hour away. So we're going to have a break till 1 p.m. Malaysian time before the jump will begin. Okay, so Marek's going to start rope on toe, first pass. Toe 720 by the look of it to start. And here he goes, toe 720. Toe 5 back. Toe back to backs. Toe 5 front is good. Geez, he's quick and he's smooth and he's piling the points on at the moment. Toe weight 360. Over the rope, he goes on the toe weight line, no, but never had a chance. He landed a long way back. So it was going really well. He was looking great, and he would have got a fair way through that run, but just falling on that toe weight lino.
he looked so smooth, like you said, right? Really quick, really
I thought
smooth
so.
up till then. And then I just don't know what happened for the toe weight lino.
Well, I'm sure he'll have an idea of what happened, and so will his coach, but it's too late now. It's done. It's happened. So he's going to have to stand up his hand pass. Really tough for any of these Series 3 guys to make it into the trick final, because generally probably looking at over 9,000 points, I think, to make the men's trick final. Maybe even, 9,200, 9,300, if I had to guess, to make the men's trick final. So, even if Marek tricked to his absolute best, he'd probably be a little bit off the mark. I've got a score through for Damir Filaretov. It's 52.50, which is actually pretty good considering he fell kind of early, didn't he, on his toe run, and he was disappointed. It looked like to me that, he's the sort of guy that possibly could have tricked sort of 7,500 points, maybe 8,000 points, but he unfortunately hasn't got it together, which is probably why he wasn't super happy.
Yeah, it's a shame all these good skiers won't be in the finals, right? He might have had a chance, do you reckon?
Yeah, and that's the thing about the Worlds is it's so hard it's the World Champs, and it's so hard to make the final of the Worlds that a lot of really good skiers, this is the only time we're going to get to see them trick in the entire tournament, and it's here, we're on Tuesday.
Yeah, luckily we have 5 more days of competition. It'd be nice to see all these world champions coming up.
Absolutely. The Worlds is the big daddy, isn't it, of all tournaments. You have the big pro tournaments like the US Masters and Moomba Masters around the world, and you have age group Worlds, but this is the one that has the most competitors. I think 130, 140 competitors at these Worlds. Everybody's here. Sometimes at Moomba you don't get all the top skiers. Sometimes at US Masters is quite exclusive to get into the US Masters. But this is the one when you get all the best skiers from around the world. Okay, just had word the trick sheets will be available in 10 minutes. 10 minutes at the bottom of the tower. Yep, down below. So that's great to know. Here's our last tricker and the hand run. Geez, explosive stuff with the ski lines. He's piling the points on here. Really sensational stuff. Marek Melnik of Slovakia. Oh, this is great tricking. Really is. Oh, and he's gone down. But that's a high score. In fact, you know, I'm going to say that could be our top score of the day. It really is. Philippa?
I think so. I think you're right. We might see a new leader coming up.
Just looking at the screen on the website, it says he's from Italy. I'm pretty sure he's from Slovakia. Marek Melnik, but just in case there's some confusion out there around the world. But that's a great run. We'll wait for the score. So trick sheets will be ready in 5 or 10 minutes. Down at the bottom of the tower. We're going to break now until 1 p.m. So it's coming up 5 minutes past 12. So time for everyone on site to go and get some lunch. And I guess if you're on the webcast, you can take a break. Yeah, we'll shut down for 45 minutes or so. We'll be back just before 1.
Just a quick reminder for all the teams to send in their country flags up to the glass room to Nosy.
Okay.
And meet at the grandstand at 5 o'clock. See you guys.
Yeah, so that's it. We've got, we'll finish off the tricks. We'll give you an update when we come back for jump at 1 o'clock of Zach's scores. But Rafael de Osma leads at the moment with 69.50. But I've got a feeling that our last competitor, Marek Melnik, will come out of this grouping, Series 3, with the #1 trick score. And I think it will be up around plus 7,500 points, maybe even getting close to 8,000 points. So that's it for now. We're signing off. We'll be back at 1 p.m. Malaysian time for the Women's Jump Series 3.
Putrajaya, Malaysia this August to watch the world's best water skiers in action. Don't miss it.
Watch the best water skiers in the world compete at the 2019 World Waterski Championships in Putrajaya, Malaysia.